That's pure gaping.
Oh, you smell the room already. What are those fucking bagels? Just holy fuck.
He's brought liquid.
He lives around that smell 24/7.
I love the wee bags. I love that they're like just fresh out of the oven of his.
You've already made this room smell 10 times nicer.
It smells fantastic. Oh, you haven't seen the room before. This is a good room. This is for like functions.
So is this just like a weekend only bar?
No, it's open. Perfect time
Thursday.
to plug. Flax, Marafelt, Guinness, best Guinness in Marafelt, Mid Ulster area probably.
You can drink the Guinness now, by the way.
I'm gonna drink. And this is a good room, and we're welcoming Stephen here right now. We're gonna get you set up, but we're just rolling anyway. We're rolling, and he'll get you set up. And then
He is a lot taller and
get ready to go.
We're
We're not a very
Just trying to keep it about
There.
we're not a very polished
or a bit closer.
thing, you know. We're not like, you know, hair and makeup is in there, and
What podcasts do you listen to?
do you know why I was actually saying to Fergal, I haven't been listening to as many podcasts recently, but back in the day, obviously you had Joe Rogan, and I only listened to, I'd say maybe 2% of his episodes, but they had to be really interesting or really alien orientated or history orientated. They were my main ones for Rogan.
I love Bomb Squad.
Bomb
I
Squad.
like Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad's very good.
Bomb Squad.
Yeah. They're filling out some amount of stadiums at the moment too.
Are they? I thought he was moving to New York.
He
is,
has, but they filled out a pile of places before he left.
They did a tour, didn't
Yeah, they did. And what else did I listen to? Theo Vaughn. Love Theo Vaughn.
Yes.
And
I think with like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn, I never actively listen to them, but I just do
know of
scroll
them.
through Insta
Yeah,
and
yeah.
YouTube
You get
Shorts.
wee
I just
snippets.
see so much of it.
I was saying to Fergal there, I actually think the reason I don't listen to as many podcasts is just my baby. I had a new baby Lear.
Oh, I kind of.
And I've just been on shorts, and wee reels constantly. No, I haven't been listening to full things.
Your ADHD gets so much worse.
Must
be like lack of sleep or something.
You're calling it out, and you're completely
Yeah.
right. How are you
Big-
getting on?
Fine, 7 and a bit weeks in.
7 weeks.
So
they? Wow, so you are both...
7
What are you?
weeks. I'm nearly 6 months this weekend.
does it get
Absolute
easy?
nuts. It does. It gets easier, lad.
First 3 weeks were hard.
Nuts.
I just was so sleep deprived. I was like, everyone always was like, "Oh, say goodbye to sleep." And
Aye.
all. I was like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah.
It
Dead
was
on.
Brutal. But then, sort of, I just now get better at sleeping
Yeah,
through.
Everybody's different as well.
Not that she sleeps better. I've got selective hearing more now.
Is that a baby crying? No,
If I look at the wall, somebody else will get this baby.
do you know what was really strange? I was a terrible sleeper before anyway.
Yeah.
I'm always a terrible sleeper. And it's no real different now. It's not that bad, in terms of my sleep. But you get fucking a few crazy days, but then I survive on little sleep. I don't like it, but I do.
I don't. I talk a lot about sleep for the past 3 years.
Aye.
I'm a bit of a sleep Nazi. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll leave a pub at midnight instead of 2 because I'm like, Scott.
Yeah.
When you have a business, so it's different.
But I think that kind of really changed it because
Aye.
I can't be hungover in work anymore.
I felt guilty if I was hungover, and whenever I was hungover, I slept on the sofa for the day. There's no point even me being in the office.
I'll go in and within about 10 minutes of being in the back up 10, 12 questions from 3 or 4 different places.
Aye.
And
you're like, I need to be
just
screwed
your
on.
brain. And I also have this curse that if I'm hungover, something will break. Not me that breaks
Aye.
it. I'll get a phone call at 6:30 being like, the oven's not working or we can't get in the front door here.
It's like a hangover dread.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, I'm going to have to go fucking sort that.
And the only day I'm proper off is a Monday.
Aye.
And then I'm always like, I'll go big on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
And my mates who work Monday still go bigger than me in a Sunday night.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
What's your opening hours and locations at the moment?
oh, well, hot off the press today, Trade Market's closing.
Yes. What's the reason?
Yes,
for that?
that's right.
It's very, but Banana Block is Wednesday to Sunday and will continue to be Wednesday to Sunday. And then Trade Market was Wednesday to Sunday, but it didn't open to 12, which was, we made it work, but a bagel shop, you'd probably rather be open at 9, 10 and
Yeah.
a.m. if you could in that part of the city.
Of course, it's known as a breakfast kind of thing, you know.
But we knew that we were always going to get kicked out because it was a pop-up on Kienos's land. And then they did a big press release about a month or two ago saying, oh, we've got our plan permission all agreed. We're ready to rock and roll.
Fuck you, small businesses.
Everybody needs to be out by the 31st of July.
That's nuts, like.
So we all read this and we're like, what the fuck? Like nobody...
Are you not a small business owner now?
Yeah. But we didn't know that like that was the date. So we're like, oh, it's a bit shit that it's right in the middle of the summer.
They're building apartments, aren't they? Or
they're building an office, and then they originally were going to build a massive big office. COVID happened, and then they're like, we don't really need a big office. So they sold half the land to Queens.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then Filthy's is shutting them, apparently becoming student
Fuck
accommodation.
Fuck
So the
off.
Dublin Road now is going to have 2 massive student flats
It's
and an
fucking Ghost
office
Road.
with nowhere to drink, well, other than 5 Points and nowhere to eat. So yeah, it's really shit. It's really shit, especially because I kind of was like, last week we were like, right, that 31st of July date that we said, oh, that'll not happen, we'll push them back to October.
Yeah.
That looks like it is going to happen. And then today it's like, it's actually the 14th of July and we have to put a press release
Get
out.
out
Sorry.
the fuck.
So
That's nuts, man. What's
don't know.
next? I know we usually say this at the end, but what is the next for you with that situation? What are you thinking?
well, I always wanted to get somewhere in the city centre that was like a proper New York style deli bagel
that'd be
shop.
class.
And I don't know if
Boogie
it's
wee
like
thing, like-
We should all grab our Guinnesses now
yeah,
before we start.
Chewy cheers.
Thanks for coming, Stephen.
I drink Guinness very, very quickly.
I was saying that, and he says I have a problem. I says, no, I don't. It's only on Wednesdays.
It's
Like I'll come
a one-day alcoholism.
I'll come out like and drink my first 3 pints probably as quick as anyone there.
Yeah.
Pint 4, the pack catches me up.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting lapped by like pint 6 or 7. You know, I'm really struggling. And wine's the same. I'll drink the first half of a bottle of wine in about 10 minutes. Oh, lovely.
That's your drinking hand.
I'm not leaning forward.
Yeah, nuts. Aye, man. Hospitality at the moment. You're scared for a lot of
tough.
stuff happening.
But I'm gonna it's just been a weird few weeks because think I'm getting somewhere in the city centre, but I haven't signed anything yet, and it's just gone through. Our mutual friend Connor is doing some surveying type work, and
fantastic.
he'll forward me on it.
Very knowledgeable guy.
So hopefully that comes through. It's really weird seeing your friends in the profession. Like I met him there.
Actually out in the
Is
field.
He was in a
Is
suit.
he different?
He was in a suit, and I was wearing like navy shorts and
Yes,
black
bud.
baggy t-shirt and dirty trainers. And I'm like, I'm probably the one that's supposed to be making a good impression to
He
the
would
stage.
have like a pen with his name on it and stuff.
Oh,
just
probably.
sitting in the suit.
Little protector for
taking
the
it
ink
out.
spills.
Yeah. Very good.
So hopefully I get something big in the city centre up and running by like September time.
Brilliant.
And then between now and then, there's like 6 to 8 weeks where it's kind of like you split your revenue's been halved, and the time that you're probably wanting it to double, so you get all this money to open somewhere else.
to get ready to go.
So it's a bit shit, but I feel like in Belfast there's always an appetite somewhere, and I'll hopefully find something for like a little pop up, 4 weeks, 6 weeks.
yeah,
Deadly,
just to float around.
Yeah.
Like, you could make it a specialist kind of thing. Like we're going to be here in this nice area this week, and just plan ahead.
Well, I feel like Bodega Bagels has always been, because it started in the garage. Then I went to Banana Block as a pop-up. Then it stayed there, but kind of in a temporary-looking cafe bit. And I went to Trade Market, and it's in a shipping container. So it was a pop-up that kind of was there for 2 years. Did Port Rush last summer in another shipping container type thing pop-up.
Was that your own shipping container?
No, it was a part of another little market that did not go very well.
Shit. You would have thought
Port
there would be
Rush
great
last
for it.
summer, June, July, and August, I think we seen like 6 dry days. It was...
Oh shit! Is that why it didn't go well?
And it was just in a really shit part of town. You had to like come out of the train station, go back on yourself. So you know if you come out of Port Rush train station, you kind of like just keep going straight and you come into the town.
Yes.
We'll come out of the train station and do a 180 and head over to like, is it the west?
Aye. Yeah.
West Strand, yeah.
West Strand.
Yeah.
You go through the wee
Yeah.
railway.
Yeah.
Just into the right there's a bit of like derelict land. It used to be called the...
It's the Metropole corner of the northwest track.
Okay.
Corner right at the edge of Port Rush.
Actually, it was a very good market. There was only like 5 vendors there, and it was like, you know, Jumon, Koo, Ass Baps, and Katsu. So you had like a real nice
mix.
Ass Baps.
Baps,
What did you say?
Koo, Baps, Katsu, and Baps.
No, I was like, who the fuck called their business that?
Well, their branding is just Baps, like, is it not? Like,
Big old set.
Nice.
So, like, maybe they needed a second brand.
That's why I was a wee bit shocked. Like, it wasn't just bringing it up. I actually never heard of it before. Fantastic. I'm just getting my notes up here, Stephen. Very unprofessional.
Oh, notes.
I know.
No, the notes are just fucking in case I forget to ask something.
Bring the notes up here and we all look at them.
I go to fucking jail for something.
The Father Ted image of the head with the reality. That's John's.
The two bunnies chasing each other. That's basically these episodes.
Sorry.
It's okay. I completely agree. I actually have a section on it where it actually says "Don't read." Do you see that?
I seen that. Yeah, don't read. Read it.
No, I'm not reading it. So I did a wee comb through it before we started. Like, don't read that. I can't even mind what it was. But anyway, welcome, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much
for having
coming.
me.
Stephen.
For everybody who just got a wee glimpse into the episode, I suppose, we have Stephen Orr, isn't it?
That's correct.
Stephen Orr from Bodega Bagel. Currently at what location?
Banana block.
Banana Block.
And depending on when this is released, trademark it.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
a
it should
limited
be.
time only.
And then,
For a couple of days.
depending where else is next, tickets will be available in the future
Keep an eye.
for a potential event area or space, or check out his new menus and stuff online. So look, Stephen, welcome to the podcast. Have you ever been in Marfelt before? Much?
Actually, I think I've driven. So I'm from Ballymena.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Are you close enough then?
Yeah, but like I kind of was like Ballymena,
lovely.
Port Rush, Ballymena, Belfast. It was kind of like, you know, I didn't. So I got tragically lost because Google Maps stopped working in the
Yes.
middle of the countryside, and I was kind of like, what the hell do you do? Like
Yeah.
without Google Maps, like I have to go. I might have to run up and knock someone's house
Aye,
and be like,
go,
"Where's Macrophil?"
where's
And
the
they're like,
flags?
"It's 25 miles that way."
Yeah.
Takes these 16 turns in
That
this order.
unnerves me. Like that unnerves me. Like you have no directional sense then at all.
I just, well, no.
no, me
Where's
and
that-
Fer- me
I
and
don't
Fergal
even
are the same.
drive. I'm not in Ballymena very much anymore anyway.
Yeah.
So then I'm in the countryside of Ballymena, and I'm like, I've never been in.
Yeah,
And I got stuck at, I thought I got stuck at a band parade in Randallstown, but I think it was a duck race.
Duck race.
I think it was a duck race.
Do you know, isn't there something legal about that? If it's on the road, you can't actually go that way.
Well, do you know when you come into Randallstown, there's like
Duck race.
there's
Am
like,
I not wrong?
I have no idea what you're talking
Sorry.
about.
Ducks, whenever they're on a road, they legally have right of way as an animal. That's true.
Does all animals not have fucking right away?
True. It's a duck.
I murdered a family of ducks one time driving by accident.
You
Jesus
have
Christ.
forever.
well,
You have forever years bad luck.
We'll need to clip that.
That's
probably about 12 years in.
Do you know I can actually send that to someone and you actually get done for that, right? Cut. It's legal. It's a legal right.
I don't know if that's
They have
true.
right away. I swear. Look, if I find out, I'm gonna put it up on the episode.
Engine's on, I'll do the
Sorry.
back here.
fact check.
If you haven't noticed, I fall out with Jude the all the time, and sometimes Fergal as
A lot of
well.
the times.
Sorry, Stephen. Have you ever listened to the podcast before?
I did, yes. I listened to the Notorious Pizza Guys one.
Yes. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. And I listened to, only over the weekend there out in the van, Joe Kane.
Yeah.
The chef guy.
One of
yeah.
them episodes. He's
Yeah.
been on 3 times now.
So I'm not a chef, never have been a chef,
Aye.
but work with
Yeah,
chefs,
yeah.
and I'm kind of like, oh, they
Aye,
are
it's
all
cool.
cut from the same cloth
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing.
They're all nuts.
ridiculous. I was about to say ridiculously dead on people, but like
Yeah.
mad.
They're nuts.
That's
Full-time-
code for
Yeah.
nuts, like
Yeah.
Just full-time mad bastard.
Yeah.
full time on their
But if they're
Facebook.
employed, they're
On
a
their
chef.
Facebook, it says full time.
Yeah. School of hard
100%.
knocks.
No, very good. I've already asked that. Quickfire.
Is the Elka microphone?
That's Tim.
Tim. But
it's like-
easily confused. That's quite close.
Oh, is that a
proud of
nice?
you,
Is that a
Stephen.
nice brand new road I was on there? Look,
Yes.
Bypassed.
And is
You
that
bypassed
is
it.
that a McDonald's getting built down the road?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
You're revealing Marfelt's secrets here.
I'm just driving through.
We've been waiting for that for 30 years. and
That's
it's here.
probably double the property value. around
Probably.
here. Yeah.
Well, the property value is pretty bad. Pretty expensive
Me and you
here.
used to
isn't
talk
it?
about franchises and stuff.
I always said that'll make a fucking killing. That's the
killing.
perfect
Killing.
place.
It's
for
literally
it.
killing people, but it's
Aye.
it's going to make it killing. Like, so, I would do it. Not to kill the people, but you know,
Making money.
the money would be
yeah.
ridiculous. I think it starts at $1 million.
You need a mill for the
It's
franchise.
$1 million.
Yeah.
It's like probably now it's $2 million to even think about joining a franchise like that.
Well, I'll go into McDonald's now, and because I'm kind of, like, not in the McDonald's game, but in the kind of quick food, not quite fast food, but quick food game, I'm kind of like, I was looking, I'm like, they have 23, 24 staff in here right now.
Aye.
I'm like, that's like £500 an hour staff.
No.
This place is open 24. I'm like, this place is spending 15, 20 grand a week in wages.
But no wonder it's fast.
Yeah, well, it's just fancy.
You watched The Founder then, the film?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's brilliant.
Oh, one of my
It's such a
favorite
good,
films.
yeah.
See that scene about the workflow in the kitchen,
Oh,
and then
it's
they go out onto the
fantastic.
tennis court.
That's kind of a little bit how my brain works, but I just don't have the kind of the through or the follow through to actually go and do it.
I get
I'm
you.
like,
You probably get wee tidbits of it here and
I
there,
love-
and it's
I love-
putting it together.
I love like working in the bakery or wherever, especially if I haven't been doing something in work
Yeah.
for a few months and jump back in and then do it and be like, oh, if I just bought one of these for you for £80, that would make your life so much easier. And they're like, yes.
Things
and I'm
about
like,
making it efficient.
We love
Yeah.
that sort of shit. That's
Yeah.
We spent fucking 8 years doing that at Shady. Like, loved it. Like every week we were like, how do we make this quicker? How do we make this quicker?
I think
You
it's-
wanted to buy
Make us
so
quicker.
many fucking programs, like so many
flat, like-
software.
But the thing
this
is-
software's deadly. This will stop
But
us.
the thing was, it fucking was half the time. But you had to try things to see if it
Aye.
would fit.
True.
And did it suit the people? Did it suit us? You know, you had to do them things to learn that. And you're learning that in other ways too.
Bill Gates, I think, said that he always will hire the laziest person, the smartest, laziest person to do the job because he knows they'll find the
'Cause-
most efficient way to
Yes,
do the job.
yes.
do it. Yeah, I'm
That's
kind
a good
of
one, actually. I like
quite,
that.
quite lazy. I'm a hard
Aye.
worker, but I'll
Yeah.
do it the laziest way I can get away with doing it.
How do you get the quickest way?
Yeah.
Someone here, Jude.
I don't know.
You close the door. Did you close the door?
I think it, yeah.
I heard that.
Because I left it in the snib and then I thought I better close that. So I'm
Aye,
pretty sure I
someone
did.
came in one day and I was serving Guinness for us.
Yeah.
But I was serving it where I was lining it up downstairs and bringing it upstairs, and they were chancing their arm. They're like, she's the Guinness poured. I goes, no, it's, they're for us. He goes, can I take one with me? I was like, no, you can't.
You're just like cash.
But they were
only.
being the flax would be like, what the fuck are you doing? But very funny. But yes, sorry, Stephen. I was going to say there about we do a quick fire.
Yes.
As you know, we've listened to a couple of episodes, and we'll do like a wee verses, and then we've got a few wee questions for yourself. Very much bagel orientated and bread and dough and all that sort of good shit.
Yep.
We've got a few wee jokes in there. Got a wee bit about a history sort of thing about bacon and different wee things, and then we've got a few wee questions as well that you'll enjoy too. So starting with a quick fire. Where's it at? There it is. White bread versus wholemeal bread.
Oh, always white bread.
Yeah.
Just like the cheapest stuff, the better. I actually think. I could.
Just toilet paper. Like.
Do you remember Harry Ramsden's?
Yeah.
Ever? Just they
Yes.
give you the cheapest bread with like the real little
Yep.
sachet of butter that
Yep.
was always like 80% melted. That you
Yeah.
Yes,
I could just you could eat a loaf of that, or the Cuisine de France little white baguettes in the oven. Could just
Oh,
eat
yes,
6
yes.
of them.
I had a fish finger sandwich today, and
disgusting.
you need the perfect white bread, like the cheapest
absolutely
white bread.
disgusting.
That's the only thing that's
Yes,
gonna make
nobody
it.
do that.
Fish finger sandwiches are like
Oh yeah,
a staple.
Stinking
bit of mushy peas on there to bouge it up a bit.
Did you know the more stuff you put on it, it sounds nicer, but it's only because the fish has been hid. That's
You're not over the fish thing, are you?
no. I like Joe Kane's fish is nice, but the tuna chin and fingers things are fucking not.
Sourdough I love as well, but like
Sourdough's
that's
deadly.
that's a little like weekend special.
Oh, that's coming up. That's coming up.
Oh.
Granary bread versus sourdough.
oh, sourdough.
I go granary.
You're wrong. Sourdough's unreal.
I love a bit of granary. There's
Did
like
you go-
seeds. Is that not the one with the multi seeds?
Yeah.
It's hard to get a good
I-
banner, yeah.
Aye.
Fucking stuff you buy in the
But it's
Hovis.
just-
I think it's Hovis or Hovis.
It's just
Fuck off. Well, we're not getting them sponsoring us anyway.
just try hard brown bread.
No, never heard of
Yeah, it's just another shade of brown bread.
it. Let's make it browner.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna, yes, man, if you're gonna get bread out of a plastic bag in the filling station, get the fucking white as shit.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
pure plastic, like.
Because you're being
Or
you're being such a wanker buying bread like that.
No.
I just don't like. It's just,
Do you mean what? Don't make it fancier than it is, or?
it's like you can't really. When it comes to just toast and butter,
Aye.
white bread can't. Really
That's
be-
it.
Right, that's fair enough. No, I thought you were saying it was so bad that it didn't matter.
I don't know. It's just, no, the white bread's better. Yeah.
Fair
I'm like
enough.
Ormo or Kingsmill or just
Kingsmill, good
That's
beer.
white.
Pat's pan. I was going to say that. It's
Do
good
you know
toast.
what my favourite sandwiches in the whole world is? Thick white bread with peanut butter and jam in between it. And that's it. And that's it.
Yankee.
I
You're a
ate them.
fucking Yankee.
I ate them every year in primary school. And my, in primary school, and my ma used to say, "You're gonna fucking turn into one of them." And I was like, "And if I did, ma, I'd eat myself because I fucking love them."
Here, right. I have asked
They're
many
lethal.
people this, and I'm wondering, is it like you aren't Ballymena is not too far away, so you might have heard of this. Mars bar and apple sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
And if he's had it,
I have.
Never had it,
I have.
it must be a Presbyterian thing.
Do you know,
think this has
it was
been
a
brought up
funeral I
before.
had it at. Here, it was a funeral I was at.
Because chicken and grape.
That's
Yeah.
mental.
There's
I don't
one
agree
with
with that.
chicken and orange or something.
I
ham
don't
and orange or
agree
something.
with chicken and grape. I think keep chicken where it's at.
It's probably nice.
I'm not going to see when it comes to bacon. I trust the Presbyterian man.
Yeah.
Trust
I
them.
agree with
I
that.
would.
Are they some of the biggest bakers about?
They're fucking. They know how to bake. They know fucking about.
I love a try back. Yeah.
Nothing overly.
Trey Baker import from
Trey,
English
yeah.
though, were they not? Trey Baker's an English thing.
I don't know.
It is.
No, we do way better trade mix.
I think we do them better, but I think that's where it came from.
Getting political here, lads.
Sorry. No, I'm just debating it. Fuck me.
That was very good.
But no.
We're getting into the fucking royal family tax and Jaffa cakes later, but anyway.
Oh yeah, but do try a Mars bar and apple.
It is. It's nice.
It's so good. There's
I had it at a
something.
funeral.
It shouldn't
It's nice.
make sense.
Doesn't make
On what
sense.
bread? The white bread?
White bread, butter.
Do you know why it doesn't make sense? It's because you think of an apple, you think, I've never had an apple sandwich, you think of a Mars, how do you cut that where it actually makes sense in a sandwich? But then it happens and it's good, like, it's
So what you
strange.
do is you chill the Mars bar in the fridge, and then you cut it. You cut it into wee
yeah, you
thin
put it into
slices.
tiny wee slices, and then you line them up.
And you just wee
Jesus.
apple. Like this.
Here. That'd be good with a toasted bagel.
That would be good.
You could call it the Presbyterian bagel.
I'm
I bet
yeah.
dessert. That's a dessert right
If
there.
only there was a day coming up soon that the Presbyterians love. Little 12th weekend special.
I
love it. Please do that.
I can wait to release that clip right before. You're
Please
a
do that.
businessman, like I like that one. That's a good one. Rye bread versus a baguette.
Ooh, white baguette.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I'm gonna just go baguette. I actually got one of the big foot-long ones from Lidl for the first time in forever.
Would you chop at that for days, just for lunches? or what?
No. I basically was making like pasta and thought, I'll get baguette, it'll look nice on the table. But whilst cooking, ate half of it. It's obligatory.
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
sat there with the butter and the knife and just put a wee bit on, took a
Yeah.
bite, came
Oh,
back
shit.
to it, put a wee bit on, took a bite.
You can't
know
man that
It's
thing.
very feral, yeah.
Reminds me of garlic bread.
Yeah.
It fairly goes down quick. Like, you know, I'm sitting putting on a full baguette of garlic bread.
Yeah.
And I'm actually considering myself, I wish there was another one for Clina, so I could eat this one myself.
There's nothing worse than the garlic bread being ready maybe 5 minutes before everything else.
Aye.
When you're sitting in there in
And
the
you're
kitchen,
sitting munching away at
whoever you're cooking for is in a different room, and they don't know how big that
They
baguette
didn't,
is.
and they didn't know you had garlic bread.
So
and then when
just-
you go in, you go, oh no, I forgot to get the garlic
You eat
bread.
those 3 middle bits and sort of push it together. It's a half. It's a demi baguette.
You know this is going to be like released and stuff.
I
Like,
don't care.
you
I'll
guys
just start
are
buying two.
living on the
Start buying
edge.
too. Garlic bread sales will start to go up. A ciabatta and a focaccia.
Ooh. I'd say you can do more of a focaccia.
Yeah. How do you pronounce it? The ciabatta.
I'm ciabatta, but
It is
Yeah.
ciabatta. How would
but
you used to call it ciabatta?
most people would say the T's in the middle. But
I used to call it the ciabatta or something.
ciabatta.
I don't think that's
I've
right.
started saying ciabatta.
Ciabatta, I think.
The ciabatta.
I don't think any of us is probably saying
ciabatta.
it.
Well,
I can't say T's in the middle of my word.
Oh, you can't?
Oh, I've been making such a conscious effort here to say butter.
Butter.
Every time. Butter.
No, I
butter.
thought you couldn't say it, but you can.
No, that's me. Like my brain.
You're making an effort.
You're asking a question and I'm just going butter. What's wrong, bro? Because I just want to say butter.
Bring
butter.
up
ciabatta.
yeah. Bring
I
up
would say
butter.
I'll go focaccia.
Focaccia.
It's not very. I'm not doing this very quick fire. Sorry.
It's
No,
fine.
it's
They
okay,
always end
it's
up like
okay.
this.
Nobody ever does.
Yeah.
Pita bread. Or
Naan.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time pronouncing all these breads.
Pita bread.
they're
Pita.
rye, baguette, ciabatta, pita bread. Like, come on, chill out. Like,
You're doing well. You're doing well.
I know. I think you're doing a
Me?
fantastic job.
I think I was learning these for the first time. Pita bread. Pita bread versus naan bread.
Ooh, naan bread.
What flavour of naan would you get?
Peshwari naan.
Yes.
I feel
I
like
don't know why
everybody
I cheered, but that's a fantastic.
I feel like it's a dessert with your dinner or
That's
something.
perfect.
It's so good.
Why wouldn't you want that?
Aye.
Especially, do you like a spicy curry?
Yeah.
Medium.
If you like a kind of spicy one, you like
It's
the
perfect.
coolness,
You need the.
just like a little.
Yeah, you must
little
like a bit of hot wings and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
do you?
yeah. I love hot.
have a question here about wings somewhere. Soda bread versus tiger bread.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the soda versus potato. It's
it's usually what we do.
400-year conflict. I would say...
That's coming up.
I would say soda bread. Soda bread. Has to be fried, though.
Yeah. I disagree. We'll go potato bread versus soda bread.
And the conflict.
Oh, I'm a potato... Or no, sorry. I'm a soda bread person because you can't really get filled potato bread.
It's very bland. No.
You get these like potato bread stacks and stuff.
Yeah.
They're shite, man. They are shite.
I do
can't
like
grab
both.
them.
But I do prefer a soda. But it has to be like proper, thrown in the fryer,
Yep.
really crispy, because it just like soaks up all your egg yolk and bean
Yeah.
juice in your fry. It's just it's a good sponge.
Good time.
No, I agree. Bagel thins or a wrap?
Oh, wraps.
Yeah.
Bagel thins are.
Would they be kind of demonic? You know,
Yeah,
do not even.
controversial in the bagel world. Yeah.
You wouldn't bring it in for.
Well, it's kind of like I think with the bagel, it's the soft. Some people might say it's the chewy crust is the best part of it, or I think it's quite nice. You get through the chewy crust and then you get the nice soft bit in the middle.
Yeah.
But like you get sourdough and your butter melts in the middle and it's the best
yeah.
bit. And bagel thins, you're just like scooping out the joy of life.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good points.
To save a couple of extra calories, like fuck that.
Just stop eating so much.
Yeah. Bagels are healthy, everybody. You hear that?
Oh yeah.
A chippy or a pizza?
Oh, I prefer a pizza. I don't know if it's just because I'm like early 30s now, but it's just not. They don't agree with me like they used
Pizzas?
to. Yeah.
No, they don't.
I used to eat like 3 pizzas a week. You know, a couple of oven pizzas, maybe a takeaway pizza.
Yeah.
I could have had a 2 a.m. Domino's and been fine the next day. No, I'm eating like.
man,
sits on
I'm
you,
going to
man.
disagree with you there. Domino's is absolute muck.
Oh no, it is. Yeah,
Ah,
no.
okay.
Like
That's why
in
I said 2
Belfast,
a.m..
there's like.
Aye, but you're sore stomach the next day.
Trade Market has Pie Guy, so it's got that like sourdough and then banana blocks right beside flout. So
Yeah.
I'm always surrounded by great
deadly.
pizza whenever I want it.
Yeah.
So I'll
That's
go
fair.
pizza. Yeah.
That's fair. You've got some good spots around there. What's the next one? Indian or Chinese?
Ooh, Indian, but only in like the last. I feel like I've only got into Indians in the last sort of 5 years. I used to be a Chinese every Saturday night for like
Yeah.
13, 14 years. But I always just
unreal.
got the same thing, honey chili chicken.
Yeah. I only got it because Clina like Chinese. I'm not fussing
I
Chinese.
feel like you feel,
Really?
you feel less dirty after eating an Indian.
Indian food's fresh.
Yeah,
Bit
big
fresher.
chunks of meat and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
dodgy wee morning the next day though. But with the Chinese, you know the way you always took my order years ago.
Aye.
But I would rather a pizza. Like 10 times out of 10.
God, you-
all the time.
You
pizza,
always
pizza,
lost
pizza.
that argument then.
Basically, aye. Yeah, basically always Chinese. Nearly
I
all
worked.
the time.
I took a phone for a Chinese for a while, and he used to like ring.
Oh, I used to get.
You ring
I-
my
I would
personal
speed-
phone
I
or
would-
message
I would
me.
I had to speed dial on a fucking Chinese, and you know how dangerous that is. That is dangerous.
But there is something really good about like
That's like a speed line to God. Like
post drinks Chinese. Like I'm like 2 a.m, have a little
Aye.
random high street, and you get like 3 chicken balls and a
Aye.
half and a half of
The
wee
sweet and sour
special that they
sauce.
do.
You'd never order that normally, but when you
Yeah.
get it drunk and you eat it, you're just like, wow.
yeah.
God.
Do you know I actually have more of a Mexican spicy personality to me whenever I'm drunk.
Oh.
So whenever I'm drunk, what do you hear? Not my personality. What are you fucking doing that for?
It's just we all imagine me with like a sombrero and fucking tequila,
Tequila.
big massive
Speedy
mustache.
Gonzalez. No,
Literally.
what I actually was saying was my tastes change. So rather I get like a pepperoni and some garlic dip. Whenever I'm blocked, I'll get a Mexican, throw the fucking hot chicken on that, throw the jalapenos on that, and then I just start fucking.
You prefer that?
I'm literally walking home with the mouth burnt off me.
Yeah, I think I've actually had this conversation again recently about pizza. Where is it in Cathedral Core? Pizza Punks?
Pizza
Yes.
punks, yeah.
So they don't charge you for extra toppings. So
What?
you always go in, you can build your own, you can put as many toppings as you want on it. So you always put like 10 toppings on it. It never tastes good.
Soggy.
I actually think that with a pizza, less is more. Like I'd be the
100%.
same.
Yeah,
If I'm like drunk or something, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get the meat feast and add this on and all.
Aye.
But like if you go to like when you used to work in the office life and they just brought in pizzas and there was just a pepperoni slice there,
Aye.
or a bit of like ham and,
And it-
sweet
and it
corn
kinda-
or
and
something.
it kinda just like-
it's like, oh, this is so
It
much
kind
better.
of just like drips down.
Yeah.
And you're like, cheers.
I used to do that whenever I was a lot fatter.
Eat pizza?
No, I'd have like a small pizza from Pizza Man, but put everything on it, and half the toppings would fall down.
Yeah.
We discussed this before.
And then make a sandwich out of the
Oh,
top.
yeah.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that, actually. I forgot about that bit. But there's a pizza place in Marfelt there, Pizza Man. I think it's great. I think it's a different type of pizza. We're lucky with our pizzas in Marfelt. We've Notorious, which is top dog. Then you have Solo, I think's next. Very good for eating at home, like a fucking wee, like lovely wee cheeky takeout. Notorious is deadly for sitting in with a cocktail.
Deadly cocktails.
They do bottomless brunch, lovely spot. It is the best about.
People go out sideways on that bottomless brunch.
Aye, I've seen girls coming out fucking sideways.
We've done bottomless brunches with the bagels and banana
Class,
block, and
man.
like people will just projectile boat at their table.
No, but you know what you need? As long as they pay
Just
your
through the
bagel
circle of the
before
bagel.
that happens.
Oh, it's ticketed, you know.
that's okay.
And we don't even run the bar part of it,
Aye.
so it's kind
Seems
of
to have
like,
nothing to do with
Yeah.
that.
it's like,
Here, have a bagel. sober up.
yeah.
But
No,
where I was getting to was Pizza Man in Marfelt. Have you heard of Pizza Man as a company? You probably maybe haven't.
No, I don't think
It's
so.
around here. There's a few shops.
Mahara,
one here,
Marfelt.
one in Marfelt. Mahara and Marfelt. And it's very heavy on its toppings.
Yep.
When I get it, it kind of like, it all falls off. Whereas I don't, scramble to eat all the toppings after, which Fergal did with the sandwich. It annoys me that it all falls off. I just want, a proportioned pizza.
What do you do with those toppings?
I eat them, but I'm not like, oh, this is great that they all fell into the box. Does that make
No,
sense? Or is
kinda
that posh?
soaked into the cardboard
Is that
bit.
really posh? Like,
You kind of got the infinity loop pizza where you eat some, it drops, you eat a sandwich, it drops, you eat a cracker, it drops.
doesn't sound
You
that
end up
clean.
with
to be
least
honest.
a
Like,
bagel thin or something scooped out.
you fall asleep and the wife comes in and starts hoovering you, it just all round you. No, it's not my cup of tea, but it's a really good pizza. That's the thing. Less is more, I think.
What about kebabs? How do you feel about kebabs?
No,
after a night
never
out?
get them.
You know,
Oh, for kebab.
They're deadly.
Never get them. I've seen so many drunk people sitting with them like at night, and it's put me off how messy they are. They're just
are.
a mess of a handling. Like,
They're so good when you're
But-
off.
even like I over COVID started to enjoy the sober kebab.
Yeah.
You can't enjoy this.
Fuck, you need to-
There
you
was
need
a
to
few
find a good
places
one, though.
again in Belfast. There was there's Sphinx, which was always
It's
famous.
the goat, yeah.
was that on the near the hole?
Stramillis?
Stramillis, sorry.
And
Yes.
It got
Botanic
voted.
for a very short
Aye,
period.
that's right.
And then there's a guy open just up the wee side alley beside Filthy McNasty's Turkish street food, I think he was
Right.
called.
Oh, wow, he's pretty great.
But he did like that lamishkin bread, which is like a big,
Yeah,
almost like a big giant naan bread with like lamb mince through it.
That
And then
sounds
did the
unreal.
mixed kebab with the chips and all in it. And it was class. But there's a thing in Ballymena whenever, so when I went to Belfast as a student, like, and I would go and try and order a kebab. People thought that my kebab order was really weird. Because in Ballymena, growing up anyway, it was always like from the Indian, and it was like a chicken
Pakora.
tikka in a giant
Aye.
naan
Yeah.
bread, and like a king naan kebab they called it.
Aye.
And that's just what I assumed it was. And then I started going, and they started like filing this
Sheer
Yeah.
lamb, isn't it?
grey sheet off the wall and putting it in chips. And I was like, what is this? This isn't a kebab. Where's
What is
my
this
orange?
magic?
My red chicken.
Yeah.
No, in Belfast we had the same. The Indian kind of Norma Road. I can't remember what was it called. Richie. We were obsessed with Richie. We always got like, was it chicken pakora, naan bread, with chips and garlic and chili sauce. Fuck, it was deadly. Unreal.
I'll have to go. I'll have to go.
They're still about, aren't
I
they?
think so, I don't know.
I think it is, yeah. I'd be driving up and down there like every day. I'm pretty
And then
certain.
You're the only people in the world that I've ever heard that were obsessed with Richie.
We were
Lower Ormo? Like,
Holy Land.
Holy Land's Ormo.
yeah, Holy Land's Ormo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever have stomach problems? You know.
Oh no, it's bad heartburn. Like
Thinking away. Right. Next question: wings or hot dog?
Ooh. Ooh.
I thought this was quite a good.
That's the hardest one because I really like them both.
because they're both kind of party food. You don't eat them that often.
And I love it. I love a shit hot dog.
is there is
Like a cinema hot dog. Like one that's been turning for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Like a German.
Aye.
Yeah, like a Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, aye.
But you know, like the jars you get in like
stinking,
Tesco
man.
where they come out of the jar or the tin and you boil them. They're so good.
I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to say, the thick ones you get at the Christmas market are superior.
See, no, I do think they're probably better, but they're not like a day-to-day one.
I don't want a day-to-day one though.
Is
But
there-
I am going to go chicken wings.
I would
okay.
too. Is there a good hot
I go
dog
hot dog.
place in Belfast to get a decent?
There was years ago. I remember hot dogs got like popular when I was in uni, like a good 7 or 8 years ago. But I don't think anywhere does them.
No,
I think there's somewhere opened in Common Market recently that might just be like a hot dog special type
Do you
thing.
remember Build-A-Burger?
Oh,
Yeah.
the burger was fantastic.
I wasn't in there much.
It still
I was
is.
in there. I was in
It's
there.
on Deliveroo.
What?
It must
No,
be like.
where's it
must
at?
be like in Belfast. It's on. It must be like a.
No, somebody just took the market.
Fair play.
No, I get sold and then went to the dogs and was like proper fucking dodgy for a while.
That was.
And then I went in going, oh, this isn't the same.
No.
You're
Whenever
like, I'm leaving.
And then it closed.
when it first opened, it was
It was
deadly.
next level.
I remember getting burgers with like gummy bears and
Yeah,
stuff.
you
That's
whatever
another food that too many toppings
Yes.
ruined it.
Aye.
You go in and be like, you can have as many toppings as you want. So you're getting fried egg, onion rings,
Yeah.
tomago onions, gummy
Yeah.
bears, but you just get it all.
You
Give
gotta
me
keep
6
it simple.
sauces.
Like you gotta keep it
In
simple.
today's burger standards, thinking back on it, Build-A-Burger fucking sucked.
Probably wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was thinking about it now.
it was just so new.
So it's just smash burgers
Appealing, just
everywhere now.
appealing, like
Smash Burgers, Jesus.
The Smash Bros, like
I still haven't had one of them.
They're deadly.
Are they
I
good?
haven't. Well, I got in Banana Blocks high burger,
Oh, I am.
so I've had
Oh,
quite a few
right.
high. Oh yeah, it's
Are they
good.
class? I've heard of them actually. They were one of the first about. No.
they I think did like random little pop ups for a good couple of years before they found
I
somewhere.
think I remember them.
Baps is great as well, and
Yeah.
Banana, I feel like there's not much of a difference between the two of them.
No.
I haven't had Smash Bros.
I haven't either.
I haven't been to Common Market very much.
You're there yourself. You're there doing your own shit anyway.
I feel like
Common Market, but-
I feel like in Trade Market it's kind of like, oh, you can't go to Common Market. Like,
Oh, gang.
I don't think there is any rival. There's been crossover
Gang
with
war.
vendors and stuff
There
like
is, aye.
so. But people will be like, oh, we're all thinking of going out. We might go Sunday night. We might go Common Market. John Common. I'd be like, oh, sure. It's kind of dry. Why don't we just go to Trade Market to get 20% off at the bar at Trade Market? I'm gonna go to Trade Market.
I see what you're up to.
So, but I do think especially if Trade Market is no more, I will get down because there's a new chicken wing place.
Yes, it looks
Opened in
deadly.
Common Market where it's like the big chicken tenders.
Yeah.
When I was in America, I went to a few of those places and I was like, oh, this would do well at home.
Yeah.
What do they call it? There's a massive chain in America that does it.
Chick-fil-A, no?
No.
Is it like a barbecue?
Keane's chicken. Keane's famous
Is that
chicken.
South American one? No.
Oh, no, it's an American chain. There's like
But is it like
As South American style.
No.
it's just like those big, like red
Tenders,
colored chicken
aye.
tenders, Nashville hot sauce and all that, and the little crinkly chips.
Yeah.
Is Nando's Portuguese? Am I right?
Oh, it's well,
I think it's
African. It's North African.
North
I'm
African.
pretty sure which.
But there's something to do with Portugal
It
as
is,
well.
aye.
There is. There has to be. I remember seeing Portuguese writing on the walls. Oh, there you go.
God, we sidetracked something.
Buffalo, Frank's wings. If we're just going, just stick with the
No
With
thanks.
butter.
with butter. Yes, I was just about to say my tip is milk butter in the sauce.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Is
not a
that
big
not,
one.
is that not the only difference between Frank's sauce and buffalo sauce? Like Frank's hot sauce and Frank's buffalo sauce.
They've
The
added
only
butter.
difference is the butter.
Oh, it was they've pre-buttered it.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
How many times can I say this word butter in this podcast? I'm on to about 30 right now. No, definitely bit of butter just sticks it. Takes a little bit of the heat out as
Yeah,
well.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Butter or butter?
Butter. butter.
I did have a real question.
But it has to be real butter, none of this
Yes.
Flora or even Golden Cow
It
easy
needs to be on the
spread.
counter in a dish, like
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Aye,
That's how you know whenever it's kind of like
Aye.
people will look at like the moon and the tides to tell you it's like the first day of summer.
Yeah.
Whenever I can just butter a cold slice of bread without
Yes.
having to heat it up or do anything
good.
to it, then I know it's summer.
I've
It's getting a wee bit too warm for the
A bit
butter.
runny,
I've
bit
noticed.
warm.
I've more respect for a household if they've the butter out, like you know,
Yeah.
outside and ready to go. No that margarine shite. One ingredient only allowed to the end of time. What is in your bagel? You're allowed sauce too.
Ooh.
You're allowed sauce too for dryness. One sauce.
One sauce all the time.
One ingredient. And you're allowed a sauce if it'll help with the dryness.
See, I actually
was fair.
never would eat this, but I feel like just I would never tire of it either. Is probably just kind of go like good bacon, red sauce. If I can only pick one ingredient and one sauce, it's that
A bagel
combo.
buddy.
I feel like
Yeah,
any
bagel,
other
bacon buddy.
any other sort of meat needs other stuff added to it. Maybe sausage and red sauce. We make like a sausage patty as well.
Oh, nice.
And it's just like so I probably go our sausage patty, red sauce.
Very good. Very good. Very nice. An ingredient that works in every bagel.
Oh, salt. But I don't mean like in the mixing process. But you put like sea salt over the top of the bagel and eat it. You can just eat a plain bagel with sea salt. Our most popular one's the everything bagel. The It's got
It's great.
it's got
That's
sea
good shit.
it's got sea salt in the mix.
That's good shit.
Just salty bread.
Salt
Yeah.
just makes everything better.
Or even if you just get like go into a real fancy restaurant and they give you a wee warm bit of bread and there's like the wee swirl of butter,
Oh, butter.
with the wee bit of sea
And
salt in the
you're
top.
just like,
But it just if it has that wee bit of salt on it, you just kind of you're like, oh, you know
breads
you're
in,
in for a good
in
one.
restaurants are underrated, I think.
Oh well,
A good selection of breads before a dinner.
I've
is
been
fantastic.
prepping a possible last meal 3-course thing, and I've got there's a bread.
I like that idea.
There's a certain place.
Are you going to ask that question?
Do you like that idea?
He means the dead meal.
Yeah.
He's prepped your question.
Oh right, I thought you were prepping to have. I thought you were prepping for a selection of
No,
breads
no.
at Bodega.
No. Just driving down here being like,
Right.
Hey, what's he going to ask?
We're getting.
I thought you were just like
down.
third party complimenting yourself there. That's a great idea. If there's a podcast that asks people that, boom.
What do they ask?
Just, like, what's your starter? You're in Deathrow, what are you eating?
Aye, we do that. Anyway. I was already chatting to him about it before the podcast.
I'm going to take that away. You don't need that anymore.
Bagel jokes.
Oh, God.
These will be good.
Why do bagels always get invited to parties? Because they know how to roll with it. Jesus. That's a bad one. Why did the bagel go to therapy? It couldn't find its inner peace. What do you call a bagel that can fly?
Oh.
A plain bagel.
Ah.
I feel like we should be getting these. Like.
Yeah, I definitely should be getting
Yeah.
these.
Why? No, I don't think you should. Fair play if you do.
I've Googled bagel jokes before and not heard any of these.
I didn't. I made these up.
Oh.
What? No, I didn't.
Your business is probably doing better because of that.
Yeah.
Why did the bagel break up with the muffin? It
I really want to get one. Like.
Yes.
Why did the bagel break
it
up?
just couldn't handle the crummy relationship
Dear.
because the muffin.
No, don't explain that. Don't explain that joke.
You just goes what?
I know, but it's so bad.
Oh my god! I can't breathe. Stop listening to me. Deathrow meal.
Oh.
Oh!
What
I
is
literally
this?
just
You have to
skipped a big-
explain the concept.
I explain.
Death row meal for anybody at home who hasn't listened to this before. We do a death row meal for most guests when they're food orientated, and you have to pick a starter, a main, and a dessert. The last meal you'll ever have. It can be whatever you want, whatever quantity you want, and anything at all to finalize your impending doom on Earth. And you went away for a heinous crime, and you're not coming back. So, what are you having for your starter, your main, and your dessert?
I've been pondering this one, and I think I've had about 30 options for each, so it's probably just whatever's sitting right
your
here.
head.
But you're talking about there's no like getting nice bread in a restaurant, and I think it was Joe that mentioned Jane Street South.
Yes.
But I went in there once and got their breads. So they give you like 4 wee breads: Guinness bread, Wheaton bread, Scot, Champ bread, and some other bread. And they give you that like little whipped butter with the sea salt on it.
Wow.
I just remember eating these like 4, and I've always said, I've never always threatened to do it, but never done it. It's not really a threat, but to just go in someday and be like, I'll have a pint of Guinness and
Your bread.
4 breads, and that's all I want.
all
you
I
know,
want,
I'll give you your 25 quid or whatever it is and leave.
Give me a main's worth of
Yeah,
bread.
just give me 4 of each loaf, please. But I feel like breads it's not really a starter. It's like the thing that you get when you're really hungry.
That's fine.
So
you can have a starter.
It's a
as
little
well.
bonus.
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bonus.
yeah.
And I think from a starter, I don't have anywhere in like. I'm trying to think mostly like restaurants I've had in, and there's I love tapas, but it doesn't have to be Spanish tapas. Just like bitty food, you know.
The
Like
concept of it.
Italian tapas, I think it's called like cicchetti, and I love just going and getting like 16 different things and having a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Or I love going to dinner with like 4 or 5 people, and it's all like, right, let's order something else, but different to everyone, but everybody can try each other's. You know, like is it the Lazy Susan? Yeah, the thing, little spinny thing, you know. you go to like a Chinese and everyone gets 16 things. You just spin the circle around and you get a little bit of everything. But for this, I'll keep it. I'll not pick like 16 mini dishes. So I'm probably gonna go calamari. I feel like if I go into any restaurant and they've got calamari, I'll get it. I prefer it when it's kind of like crispy calamari, battered calamari. And then I was thinking like, who does really good calamari? And I got like a fancy one and a not so fancy one. So the not so fancy one is Wagamama's. Wagamama's just do a class starter of real, like you get loads of it for a starter. Really nice like chili oil to dip it in. It's just banging. I used to in a past life travel, work all the time and live off expenses. So I just like been through the Nando's and Wagamama's and sushi menus and airports. Like
you're just
tried
picking out all the
everything.
good stuff.
And then there's a tapas restaurant in Dublin called Porterhouse or Porthouse. I can never remember if it's Porterhouse or Porthouse, but I always remember they did great calamari. So I'm gonna go breads and calamari.
Nice,
very nice.
And
that's the first time that's happened.
Yeah,
both of them.
For my main, I was thinking like, I don't even know if it was the nicest meal I had, but it was the most impressive meal. And the only time I've properly had meat sweats was I went to Franklin's Barbecue in Austin.
Oh,
that's
damn.
famous, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's like wins the awards for like the best barbecue in America. And
Did you ever watch them shows? On
Yeah,
Netflix?
he's like a judge. He's one of the judges.
Unreal.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows.
He's in that movie Chef as well.
Oh,
with
what's
John
that?
Favreau.
Yes. That's what I was going to talk to you about earlier.
Oh, love
you
that
must
movie.
love
Such a good
Chef.
film.
Oh, Chef and the Founder are just like two great
We talk about
little
Chef,
food movies.
Chef all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Like,
And The Bear as well.
Bear's
recently,
great.
yeah.
Started watching it. Burn. You ever see Burn?
Burn
with
is,
Bradley Cooper?
see, constantly on Google, is there any chef movies? And I just go through the list.
just a ream of them.
Yeah.
You ever see Little Italy?
No.
That's a good wee. That's a wee rom-commy one.
Oh, okay.
It's about two families in Italy.
Right.
Or not, sorry, two families in. Oh no, it's like Chicago or Boston, and they've fallen out. And they split the pizza shop in half, and they're like rival pizzerias. And the girl and the boy comes back to run the pizza place, and she's there, and blah blah blah. It's a Hallmark film,
like the Twix brothers.
Aye, but you ever see? Of course you have Star Wars.
Oh.
Do you know the guy? No. Christensen. Is it Hayden Christensen? Who is Anakin Skywalker in the second and third episodes? He ends up being Darth Vader for anybody for spoilers.
Oh, jeez.
He's Darth Vader. He's a young Darth Vader, but he's in it. He's a star of it. Sorry. Anyway, I sidetracked.
I actually have only seen the original Star Wars and then watched the Jar Jar Binks one. And
Stop there.
yeah, it's the only movie ever I walked out of. I was like 8 or 9 when it came out, and I just wanted to go play in the wee claw machine, and I just didn't know what was going on in the movie, so I left.
Yeah.
Where do we get to?
Fuck, where did we? I sidetracked.
Starter. Oh, the main was
main.
Franklin's. So just like a tray, and you get like we got there at like 6 a.m. and the place opens at 11 a.m. and we were like 30th in the queue.
Whoa.
And then they bring you out the little deck chair, camper chair things. But you can go into the shop and they have like you can buy beers and merch and all, but you just can't go and order food. And then they walk down the line around 9-10 a.m. and they've got like the menu there, and they sort of are taking off
orders.
what you're planning to order. It's not a pre-order, but they're just trying to gauge, you know. And they came to me, and I was like, first thing I said was, I want the beef rib, because I knew like it's the size of your forearm,
Yeah, they're
and they were like, oh, okay, right. Well, we've got about 25-ish, and there's roughly 24, 25, 26 people in front of you have said they want this, so there might not be one. I was like, oh no. You know, playing I came all the way from Ireland, I'm on my honeymoon. I got one. And then I got like the big linked sausage, the brisket, the turkey.
My God.
And it's just like, I mean, but it was also Austin in the summertime, like May time.
Warm.
Oh, like we walked from there to like through the city. It was like 36, 37 degrees.
How long ago was this?
2 years ago.
Did you go to any comedy?
No. Trump was there the morning that we're in the taxi going to Austin, or going to the barbecue place, Franklin's. We drove past this massive queue at like 6 a.m. I was like, shit, I didn't realize how busy this barbecue place was going to be.
Yeah.
But it was like 1,000 people, but they were all queuing to go in and see Trump.
Fuck.
It's kind of like a comedy show. But no, I actually went to an all-you-can-eat gospel barbecue brunch.
Deadly.
On some American customer who came into Bodega was like, you have to go to this other, it's not as famous as Franklin's, but it's really, and they play like, I think the Kings of Leon or something had played there like the night before or a couple of nights before we got there. But it's just...
Is it like a big tent out in the
No,
countryside?
it's just a barbecue restaurant with a stage, and this gospel choir get up and everyone's up and singing, and people are all drinking their little bottomless mimosas and stuff.
It's a good time.
Yeah, so it was a bit... But it's like a buffet, so you just keep going up and loading up and more
What was
brisket.
their food like?
It was good, but not quite
Same
as
level.
good. But I also think when you sit there from 6 a.m. to 11, you drink like 6 cans of beer in the morning time, which is
5 hours.
yeah, just drinking cans, chatting to everyone in the queue around you. People are walking
Sounds
up and
like
down
good
the
fun.
queue, telling you like, "Oh, this is my 96th visit. No, I'm planning this for my 100th," and you're like, "Oh, right, yeah, cool,
Okay.
dead on."
Shit. So it's a whole real event to go
Oh
to that
yeah,
barbecue
yeah.
place.
People travel from all around the world and go to it. And Americans love a queue as well for something like that.
They do.
But
I fucking hate a queue.
yeah, but it was as my main that. But like honestly, when I say meat sweats, I've ate a lot of food and been like, oh sweat. But I was properly like, it's like a different type of sweat.
Aye.
It's
Thicker.
glistening. You're glistening.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is sticky. Her
skin was glistening.
It has like a smell to it, and I was kind of walking, and I was like, I may have a heart attack here. I can feel like this should be sitting at like 80, and it's sitting at like 110. I'm just walking.
You're maybe still feeling that wee bit still actually going down.
Yeah,
in
I
as
wasn't
well.
right for a couple of days after.
What was
but-
their barbecue sauce like? Because I know each sort of region have like their barbecue sauce
yeah.
is like
So-
sweeter or it's...
well, the thing is, Texas and Austin is beef, so they're a brisket state.
yeah.
But I actually think pork's probably better. Like a pork rib is nicer than a beef rib.
Yeah.
A beef rib's really nice, but if you ever go out and have like a short beef rib anywhere
Yeah.
here and you eat it, it's really nice, but like you only need one, maybe two. It's very rich, very heavy. Whereas the pork ribs, I could have slabs of them.
I was going to say Lazy Llama. Up the road doing barbecue. Have you heard of Lazy Llama? You heard of the jungle then, eh?
Yes.
Keep on-
Yes.
They've got the Lazy Llama there.
I think I've heard about this quite recently.
Recently,
There's
yeah,
barbecue. There's that boy in Armagh.
Meet Peter.
Yeah.
He's
What's his
supplying
name?
the meat.
Peter Hanna?
Something like that.
Peter Hanna.
Yeah, his stuff's good.
And the
Yeah.
the two Connors are running Lazy Llama, and
There's a
they're
guy-
throwing out some lethal looking stuff.
Your famous food reviewer guy,
Aye, there was a
he
guy-
went to it recently.
He went to it recently. That's where you heard about it. It went a bit viral as well.
Good
Like,
Review Club? That
it
one?
might have
What's
been.
his
It was,
name?
it was,
The guy
it
from
was.
Ford that has the Ford.
FRC.
Ah, yeah.
FRC. He was just sitting there
Aye.
reviewing it. Aye, look class.
He had this like pork thing, like a
Pork.
wee.
It was a pork rib. It was like a full Meet Peter pork rib or something.
It was like sweet. It
But
was very. It looked like
like a bit of art. Like
a wee sugar cube thing.
Looked
It was
amazing.
deadly.
fair play to them. Like
Aye, no, it's great to see.
it's only 10 minutes down the road here. For
What's
us.
your view in food reviewers? Do you not?
I
can't fuck.
I like to know about places, but I couldn't be bothered listening to reviews.
I don't watch the
I
whole
just
thing.
go whenever I'm ready to go.
That's why I'd rather have the people that are just doing a 2-second video on TikTok. It's
Yeah.
just like, here's the thing, there it is, got it, 250.
Deadly.
See these fuckers that have an hour-long YouTube video and a whole, like, as if they're like
Yeah.
a McKenna guide or something.
Yeah. Michelin guide, like
Aye,
awarding,
like,
awarding Rosettas.
Like Jose Mourinho here. It's like, if I speak, I'll be in trouble. They're
Anyway, here they serve a purpose for
They do,
food
they-
companies. I understand.
and I,
that.
like if I want to promote something,
That's
I've got
just
ones
your
I'll
views.
reach out to
Yeah.
and stuff. Like,
100%.
I,
I watch them all and then go and eat the food.
yeah.
the podcast. The
Still,
podcast does
find
not
out
agree
them.
with you. Sorry.
But I have my rule is I'm happy if anyone wants to come down and make a video and go home and edit it and put it up, and if it's a collab post or they tag us and I can share, I'm like great, like it's something I don't
fantastic.
have to think about. So I will give you a free bagel, if you
aye.
come in and do this. But I will never pay anyone to come in and eat my food for free.
Yeah.
It's just like, and it's not like, well, it's a bit like this is the hill I'll die on type thing,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't sit with me right. I don't mind, you come in, I'll comp you this
Yeah.
like
As long as you
bagel.
like it.
Yeah, and there's ones that I know from pre-Bodega that like just for people that I knew who before they became food influencers and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, come, I'll give you a free bagel, you'll post it to your 20, 30,000 followers, it's win-win.
It is.
Yeah.
You're doing a great thing.
Yeah.
I would there's nothing that hurts you more if someone comes, even if they have 100, and you get ones with like 106 followers, and they're like, I give Bodega Bagels a 7.8, and here's the reasons. You're like, fuck, 7.8, you cheeky bastard. But then you go through it, and they're like, oh, they're trying to be like real, 7's great for like the port. What's it called? The one bite pizza review.
Yes, aye.
Like an 8 for him's really, really,
Really
really good. Anything above that, you're getting, a 1 mile queue outside your shop.
Yeah.
But I just
I just watched a video of his actually before you came in.
all the ones who are really successful will never say anything bad about anyone.
Aye.
But you can kind of also you can tell by reading between the lines whether they like it or not. Because you'll see ones where they'll be like, "This is the best thing ever," blah blah blah. And I'll be like, I went here and had this; it was very good. You should really give it a try. So you can see, and there's loads of. But
I got paid £300. This place is a 9 out of 1.
there's I've never paid any of them, and I've never been asked by any of them. I've not had Food Review Club in, and I know that they charge massive fees, but not every person that they review. I know they do free ones as well. But I've never reached out to them because I've been told by other traders, like, this is what it could cost. And I'm like, oh, if I was to reach out. But if he was to come in and say, oh, we're here, because I always doing stuff with Flight, we're here.
Anyway.
Do you want to we'll do a review? And I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll give you a few free bagels. Because I know it'll probably get 100 people through the door in the next few months that didn't come
Eyes
through.
and engagement on the business.
It's just the modern day taking ad out in the paper.
100%.
It is.
But I just
100%
can't. I just can't pay someone, 4 figures to come and eat my food.
I would love to do food reviews, but to be honest, like even horrible food, I still like it.
Yeah.
I still think
Glad
it's
you
nice.
admit that. Did you hear?
I'll still eat it. Like the dirty old Chinese. Like there's a place for that.
Yeah.
There's a place.
But there's good dirty Chinese and there's bad dirty Chinese. Like
A greasy spoon fry.
Aye, like, come on.
always sits well.
100%, yeah.
And like the greasy spoon
Have
fries.
you never had a Chinese that was like, this is actually pure shit?
No,
Really? Oh, fuck no.
I've never had one that I wouldn't not finish.
I would say, like, I've had, like, brunch spots now are all the rage in
Yes,
Belfast.
yes.
There's loads of them, and loads of them are great, and I fall for it and go to them all. Brunch is probably my favourite course.
Yeah.
But there's just something about going into like a wee greasy spoon. There's one around, I live in East Belfast, and there's one near me, and you go in and it's like UVF memorabilia everywhere. But it is the best. It's like £7 for like a 14-piece fry.
Unreal.
Aye.
Sure, Helens was the same.
Helens and fucking Lower Armour Road was the greatest.
Was
fry.
the unreal.
Helens Bakery. We tiny one, you go and get your. They open at like 6 in the morning for all the builders, and you'd go coming down, dying
A hangover. Yeah.
Hadn't been home yet, still steaming. You go in there, get a fry, and then, alright, love, you want what can you use this?
You've been to that, love?
And they made their own pancakes and stuff. It was greasy spoon.
Is it still there?
I think
it-
closed recently.
Did it?
But the building will still be there.
Yeah.
I think I might have.
You think so?
Don't know. The woman that owned it was sick even when I was there. She had cancer or something.
Did she?
But I can't stand hipster fries, man.
No, well, see, if I go to General Merchants or something, you go there,
Brilliant food.
but
Yeah.
you're looking like, the chili scrambled
That's what you want,
egg,
Di.
Yeah. The
chorizo and a bit of sourdough. But then they'll have, you go into these like bougie brunchy
Yeah.
spots, but they'll always have like a little token fry,
And
they bring out, and everything's
like
spaced
one wee. Aye.
2 or 3 centimeters
That's not what you
apart.
want.
And it's like no, like I want proper. This soda bread's been grilled and stuff,
Even if it's 3 days old.
Yeah,
they-
fire it in the
cares?
fryer for a few minutes. Like sausages in a fry need to be the ones you get in the chip shop.
The shit ones, yeah.
The ones that you cooked in the deep fat fryer for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't want this pork and leek grilled stuff.
100%.
There used to be a place close to us that fucking had a slice of apple on the side of their fucking fry. And I'm like, here, just fuck off.
Just stop.
No.
Keep that for the sandwiches, all right?
Fried pancake on a fry.
fuck yes.
It's probably gone. It might sit
Not
above
fussed on it,
soda and
lad.
potato now for me.
It's a bit sweet.
It's sweet. It's crispy.
I'll disagree there.
I'll
No,
disagree.
you said Helens. That was the best thing about Helens.
I never got it. I always took like an extra
You're
potato
wrong.
bread. Always took
You don't like pancakes either?
fried pancakes. I don't think are.
Have
Finally
you
agree.
tried
finally agree.
Nobles in Ballymena?
Very nice. No.
You've never been
I was
Cafe
going to say
Noble?
Hollywood have tasted it.
It's like an institution in Ballymena. Like you'll go in, and it used to be really cheap, like
What is it?
£5.
Sorry again.
It's basically 80% of the people that go in there are getting a fry, but it's just a
Right.
cafe up like near the bandstand in
I've heard
Ballymena.
of it,
But it's
though.
always rammed. Like any time of the day, it'll be rammed. But you'll order like an 11-piece fry, and you just pick your 11 items or whatever, and it comes out at, I don't know what it is, £78. It's comes on the plate, and it's all like quite clean, but it's cooked in the unclean, greasy cafe way that you like, but it's like presented kind of nice. But it from when you order to they place it in front of you, you're averaging 90 seconds.
Really?
Because they've got like, I don't know,
Not many people.
They've got like
coming in.
100 covers in there, and 80% of those people are probably ordering a fry at any time of the day. So they just
And
have,
they're just ready to
they'll
go.
just have 100 sausages, 300 bits of
That
bacon,
sounds lethal.
just constantly going,
That sounds lethal, crap.
and it's really good. Yeah.
That's what you want.
That'd be good fun to do.
Yeah. No, I don't know. The whole fancy food thing, and
There's a place for both.
There's a place for both.
I love.
Your nice brunches when they actually do something really nice. They get two scrambled eggs and all that shit.
you need your poached eggs and your sourdough, and you know
do.
that sort of establishment.
Oh, it's gone crazy. Like, you
Yeah.
pay for a slice of toast and 2 poached eggs.
Oh, it's nuts. I agree.
That's insane, man.
I've paid it.
I went to a place in the port the other week and got like a.
If it's done
avocado
really
toast,
well.
and there was one slice
Lad,
of-
it doesn't
of
matter how
sourdough
well that's done.
and
That's not worth
a-
8.50, lad.
Mashed avocado with really beautiful presents, but there's one slice. Is like, give me 2 fucking slices, lad. That's all.
Aye, I agree.
You need 2 bits of toast. If you're buying toast,
Is that
you
sourdough?
Always
Yeah.
2 bits. Yeah.
2 bits. I agree.
Air anyway. I'm not
Yeah.
complaining about that.
Shout out to anybody in hospitality. Anything,
Give me 2 slices of toast.
2 slices of sourdough with your avocado and chili or whatever. Anything else is fine.
I suppose that's like getting a bagel off you and just getting like the wee bottom.
Just gonna have-
Half a bagel.
Fuck's sake.
Just about just half a bagel. Just.
Here.
You can-
That's it. Have you been to Bodega before?
Yeah. It's class.
Biggest feed ever, man.
Uh,
Some portion.
It's big, yeah.
I don't eat dinner if I have that at lunchtime, man.
So my danger thing, I think it is from being from Ballymena. I am kind of a little bit stingy,
Right,
In terms,
right.
but then whenever I think of portion sizes or pricing of things, I'm thinking about it from the customer side to my detriment, where I'm like, you know, like
paying for that?
Like for ages, if you wanted to add avocado to one of our bagels, I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh, I need to start charging £1 now
For
for you to
avocado,
do that.
aye.
And I was in some of these bougie brunch spots in Belfast recently, and it will say in the menu, add-ons, half an avocado, £3. And I'm like, they are charging £6 for a full avocado.
Who's laying those avocados?
Or like,
Beyonce.
add a slice of halloumi, £3-4, and I'm just like,
fucking
I'll just like,
But do you, as at the same time, like they're pressured by the cost of keeping that place open. I agree, it shouldn't be that price, but also, what the fuck is driving costs up? Why are they getting charged through the fucking
well,
balls?
it should be. I'm in the wrong and they're in the right, and
Yeah.
you know, I should be charging probably
Yeah.
£2 or £3 to add
But that's
avocado.
because of the cost of living.
Yeah.
The
Well,
cost, it's the cost of running a hospitality business.
I know, like avocados especially. I think it's just because you can't grow them over here.
Exactly.
There was a
Come
massive
from-
shortage of them there for like 2 or 3 months.
Weirdly, going back to him, but Donald Trump made the price of avocados a lot cheaper. Because whenever he came in and was like the whole I'm building the wall thing, Mexico's economy crashed, and that's where loads of avocados come from. So they became really cheap to export.
Very good, thank you,
There
Trump.
you go.
Good man, Trump.
Apparently made it really difficult for fucking Mexicans to have avocados in their own fucking country.
Yeah,
It was
well.
laws.
Tuck
I
it.
thought you were about to say he's going to make it really hard for Mexicans to get over the wall. I was like, that's why I started laughing. Because you're right.
Oh, but yeah, imagine for Mexicans not eating their avocados.
Or getting over the wall because he built the wall.
I'm not a massive fan of avocados. I'm just gonna put that.
I
out.
like them in some stuff,
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
I agree with Jude that one slice of sourdough, avocado scrambled with a bit of sriracha, a bit of salsa.
This one I'm talking about, lad, it was just mashed avocado
Aye,
on a
aye.
slice of toast. $8.50.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not cool, like,
yeah.
not cool. And
That would get you a sausage, egg, and cheese with a hash brown, or a bacon, egg, and cheese
Let's
with a hash
fucking
brown,
go.
for one bit of bread and avocado. And that person that you probably bought that off probably drives a much nicer car than my Fiesta.
It would get you a minute.
You wouldn't need to be getting any ideas, lad. You're gonna go, you know what, fuck this.
I'm adding a 0 onto the end of
You're
that.
just going, sure, what do we know? Give me all them ideas. Oh. But here, I agree. You get a mini fry with that price.
Can we try some bagels yet, or do we have to wait?
That's very rude to ask me. They're not
Raw
even mine.
dog them. That's how I probably. So
Can we
every
get into
morning I'll take a big creative bagels from Banana Block where we back them over to Trade Market so they can get set up, and I'll usually just grab one out of the crate and eat it in the van over when it's
Lethal.
still like really warm.
Oh, amazing.
Don't even cut it. Don't put anything
Do you
in
not?
it. Just a. But I'll get like a jalapeno cheddar one, so
Yeah,
the
it's
cheese on
favorite.
top's still like hot and bubbly.
Some guy,
There's definitely. I don't even know what's in these
you're
bags.
living a wee bit of a dream there, getting that wee dream
I'm
breakfast.
gonna grab a
just,
bag.
yeah.
Is that?
I was
is
going to
that rude?
say, Would you be fond of just eating a whole bagel, like without cutting it or anything like that?
Well, when
then?
it's straight out of the oven, yeah. But like now,
Once they cool down, it needs to toast it again to get
yeah. It's a bit like sourdough.
Yeah,
You take a sourdough straight out of the oven, it's probably the nicest thing you'll ever eat.
I have a strange thing about bread and sandwiches and bagels. I would rather them whole. I'd rather eat
not
them
toast
whole.
them or
I don't,
anything.
No, I don't care about cutting them in half. I like just munching away at them.
Well, what you could do is just go home and sprinkle a wee bit of water in that and stick it in the oven for a few
wee
minutes.
cheese one.
That's a.
Go and give me one of them. Is there any more of them?
Turn around. Let me see the bottom. I think that's just possible. I think that's a jalapeno cheddar one.
Do you want that?
You usually there's usually a wee slice of jalapeno on the top.
Is there many?
Oh, there should be about 7 or 8 in each bag.
Jesus, you
There's
have
another one.
Jude.
Do you want one of those?
I'll pick out of mine.
Which one do you
Like a
want?
wee,
I'll admit it, I'll only have to go a wee bit if you want to rip that in half.
We'll rip that in half.
We were busy today, which is good. So I sold out of the everything bagels too early.
Bagels are fucking great, man. That's like your...
No.
That's your
I'm good.
sesame
Don't get high in your own supply.
don't get high on your own supply.
What do you think?
I took too big a bite.
Is it?
No, I did.
Is there jalapenos in it?
Yeah,
Or
there's jalapenos
yeah, perfect. That's my favorite one. I think with the most of like
Very simple.
If you ask all of our staff, they'll be like most of them probably when they first start, they're like everything bagel, everything bagel, everything bagel, and then they'll usually they morph into their favorite
find the
one
one.
being a jalapeno cheddar.
My favourite thing in your menu from going in and getting all like the one with the hash browns and this and another is now just the fucking bacon smear.
Bacon schmear, yeah. That's probably the one that
Like
know.
just big giant thick slices of bacon
Yeah.
and a bit of fucking cream cheese.
Yeah, and we
Well.
Love a bit of cream cheese.
put a lot of cream cheese on it as well. Respect the schmear is what all the New York bagel shops say. So they'll put like an inch
Into it.
of it on, but just the palate over here just.
That means something different over here.
Ah, yeah. The word for it makes you go.
Yeah, me too.
Sprinkle smear.
Schmear is like one of those words over. It's like a moist.
Ah.
The word
Aye.
moist. People you say schmear and they're kind of ooh.
You should call one of them like a wee moisty and just like
Wee moist, yeah.
No wee moisty.
What would you put in it?
I don't know, like, something moist.
Soggy map.
Chipolata.
Sorry, man.
Fuck, that's good bread there.
That's beautiful.
Now, take us through or tell lads, the process of making that, because there's something I only found out lately is it's boiled.
Yeah.
That
So-
people don't realise that.
So it's
It's
the
a boiled bread.
It
It's
is
the-
a bit.
it's
It's
the-
different.
It's the most. That's how it's most different from say like a bap, because it would kind of just be like a crusty bap
The way it's the
every
ingredients.
minute, and it's not the. And the reason that you roll it into like a ring is because you make the dough the way that we do it, and the way that pretty much all the New York bagel shops do it is you roll your bagel 24 to 48 hours in advance, raw dough, put it in the fridge. So it's kind of like a little tiny dough ring, and then it kind of proofs and expands. Then you bring it out, boil it for about a minute. We boil it in malt. Some people boil it in honey. I think most places in America would do malt, but it's quite hard to actually get over here. I got one malt supplier. Hopefully they never disappear or go away.
Shout out to the multiplier. Keep going.
Sumna, I think they're called. Vegan Whole Foods supplier. 'Cause it's
Fantastic.
vegan,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're a vegan.
So then that's enjoying his cheese.
He was a vegan.
That's a lie.
A reformed vegan.
I meant he was a vegan. You were a vegan.
Vegan for about a year.
Yeah.
So then you take it out, you boil it for about a minute, and then you fire it in the oven. Or you boil it and then you bring it out and you dip it in sesame or poppy
Whatever
or
your-
everything seasoning or sea salt.
Yep.
These ones are slightly different because when we mix them, there's chopped jalapenos all through the flour and the water, and then it just gets mixed in. And then sprinkle cheese on top, fire it in the oven. And cinnamon and raisin, obviously you're adding vanilla and cinnamon and stuff to your dough when you're mixing it at that point. And we do sometimes we'll do egg bagels as well, where you fire loads of eggs into the dough and it's kind of like a yellowy dough.
Right.
It's really nice. It's how we do the
Sounds lovely,
French
actually.
toast ones.
Go say French toast.
Yeah.
I
Just like
seen
an
that
egg,
on your
yeah.
Instagram,
And then you
actually.
just take your kind of sugary cinnamon.
What do you expect in contrast to other breads, like the boiled method? What does that create? And what is it?
So-
What's the feeling or
So
texture?
you would in our ovens we're baking those for about 12 minutes, which is
Really?
not long for bread. And we're not doing it ridiculous, 350-degree temperatures or anything like that. That's why it's ring shaped, because it's got bigger surface area. It cooks quicker.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So, or else if you made it like a giant ball, it would be raw in the
Raw
middle.
in the middle.
And the whole point of boiling it I don't know if it's the point of it or if it's just this is the outcome of it. Is it's chewy.
Yeah.
So you take like
I love
it's
that.
like, you know, like whenever I was in New York, there we're kind of, I would say, middle. Some of them were a little bit softer, and some of them were really chewy, like, you know, like sore jaw up in here after like halfway through it. We kind of like, I'd say we're in about the average mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of, you boil it, you bake it really quickly, and you get like a really hard, chewy outer and a really soft inner.
Is it an American made or invented?
No, so like it is.
I know New York is known.
It's very much like a Jewish deli, and hence why it's so big in New York. But it came from like the old Jewish world, so Poland, I
Yeah.
think, is where it.
I guess that.
You get ones.
You did guess
ones
that.
in the street in like Poland, like it's not. They're more ring shaped, but they have a name for it. And it's kind of like
Yeah.
They just raw dog it with salt on it.
And then they do things like bialys and stuff as well.
raw dog, the bagel.
Sure, we're raw dogging right now, man.
That's the best way to eat it. But get out of the oven and raw dog it.
This man, he's
What are you?
raw dogging
What are you? What are you doing tonight? Oh, just raw dog in the
raw
house.
dogging something.
Raw dog and
Some
a few
rings
bagels.
and the bagel.
That's how we get the rings on them.
No Vaseline.
I'm gonna have a
This
liquid
podcast.
death.
It's good you don't have a mic over there. This podcast is going in the gutter. What is that there?
It's liquid death. You've never had liquid death.
You don't even know what it is.
Do you know?
Seriously?
Not clean.
Neither do I.
Nice brownie.
Sponsoring the pod now.
They should sponsor us.
Well, you should. Are they local or what's the crack?
Oh no.
No, they're American.
All right.
So they were literally
Fucking sponsor
the
us
guy
then.
that made it. Because I actually listened to a podcast about him called "How I Built This" podcast. If you ever listened to
Yes,
that,
it's brilliant.
it's really good. They had that guy on it, and he basically was a designer, and he just thought, "I'll design canned water, but make it look like a beer can."
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just to make people.
If I'm a, like, so basically he was an ex-addict and was now sober, and he's
Yeah.
like, he just thought he wanted to
I
look
wanted
cool
something
drinking
that.
stuff.
Aye.
I love driving around Belfast drinking the green ones that you used to drinking now, because
guess it
the
looks like
looks
Carlsberg.
that you get from people, they just think
Aye.
you're
Oh, so it's not alcohol.
no, it's sparkling water.
Fuck off, man.
Yeah.
No way.
Try it.
Love that.
It's lime.
I was drinking up the road the other day, drinking a glass water bottle, just looked like a bottle.
Oh well, take one. There's 3 of them there, so help yourself.
By the way, we're coming across very culty, not knowing what liquid death is.
Oh well, like I didn't even. I got like a drink supplier who just started doing it. They do all those like Karma colas and stuff as well. And then they just brought one of these in one day and I stuck it in the fridge. And honestly, the first like 3 months I had them in the fridge, once a week, someone would be like, "Oh, these are the podcast drinks."
Yes, that's it.
Because I think it's like
That's the
Bert
marketing they did.
Kreischer and Tom
Yeah.
Segura and all those boys all just
They're all
drink
liquid
liquid
death,
death. So
This is basically prime for 30-year-olds.
It might be.
Yes.
I think you're right. I think you might be right.
yeah.
What's inside the rest of these, by the way?
Oh, I don't even. I should have checked the bag.
Are they...
Have you look in and just let us know?
It's your phone.
Ah, I thought. Oh,
Everything?
no.
Oh, black poppy seed.
Black and white sesame, and then there's scallions through the dough.
Oh,
That's the bagel, the bagel of the month.
That sounds nice.
Poppy seed bagel.
That's just. Is that a plain inside?
The thing is, like, I would not be eating 2 of these and then doing a drug test
Aye.
because there's a lot of poppy seeds in those. You think like
Get me out of
you
here.
think, you think like you go in anywhere normally and you get like a poppy seed thing? There's like it's because they would sprinkle and we dip, so you're getting like 1,000 poppy seeds a bag.
There's some more poppy seeds.
Cinnamon raisin for
That's a
the
good one, man.
for the
That's
sweet
nice,
tooths
Not
for your peanut butter and jam.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Is that
perfect.
raisin?
Yeah.
Cinnamon and raisin.
Toast
yeah.
that bad boy up.
Aye, we bit of fucking peanut butter.
Unreal.
on that.
Then there's a few more Hallie Chads in there.
Aye, there's a few more hollies.
The Holly
in here.
Chads are sexy. Like they just look at you in there, don't they?
Yeah.
Can you, Fergal, if you don't mind, could you give me, or maybe Stephen, you eating them?
No, no.
What? He's not eating them. He says he's not eating them. Do you want one?
No, I'm not, I eat.
John will give you one as if they're hands.
Here, Stephen. This is a poppy.
Oh, lovely. Is that the bagel of the month?
That's the bagel.
That
bun.
is, and then we also have a raisin and cinnamon.
I'm gonna have a bit of this. Do you want
Raisin the
some of
bar.
this one? The raisin one.
Yeah, I like a bite of it off.
actually. Don't you touch that raisin one? I want that home with me. I want the raisin and cinnamon one. Leave it alone.
I thought you wouldn't like that.
Sorry, Steve. Moving on.
We've distracted.
Three guests at your dinner table. Your final dinner table.
I'd meant to plan this one again. Changes depending.
This is
on-
hard.
Did you see this one? I actually thought about it in the car on the way down, as it's been asked a lot, and I think you shouldn't think about it before you come on. I think you just come in and whatever influences you at the time, go, I want that person, I want that person. You know, just go for it.
Yeah, well, right, I'm going to go Alex Ferguson.
Oh, good
'Cause
answer.
That's a good one.
He loves a rinse. He loves his red wine.
Good documentary on him.
Yeah. And you like, I'm a United fan. He's loads of stories. And even just like, the man's the greatest of all time. Won a European Cup of Aberdeen. Like, you know, the last person to win a Scottish league that wasn't a Rangers or Celtic manager. Still.
Unreal.
And he's just like, even before, like, almost disregard the United stuff. So I think he would just tell you really good stories. And he'd tell you stuff, I think, after a bottle of wine that he shouldn't be telling you as well. So I'd have him. And then I think I just want the funniest people there. So I'll go Will Ferrell.
Very good.
I think it's just, you know, the millennial in
Like
me.
Will, yeah.
Kind of grew up on that. Was chatting to some of my Gen Z workers the other day about Step Brothers. Hadn't seen it.
No way.
Were they like, is that real sad story about the woman dying? The woman dying or something?
It was one of the
sad,
few
man.
times where I was like,
That's sad.
wow, that's mad.
No, I think that's sad.
Yeah.
I think that's one of them ones.
It's not for them, folks. It's not for them. Like.
Really? But I watch I used to watch old comedy with. I used to watch old comedies that were out maybe 10, 15 years before
But
I
you're a
was
comedy
alive.
fan, though. What's the
I'm
difference?
a comedy fan, but I think that's a type of film that there is a fan base for. Like all the Adam Sandlers, all the airplanes, all the scary movies. I still love them all. They were shite, but they're great.
What would be Gen Z's version of like that?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Step
Well,
Brothers would be Gen Z's version of that.
Just watch
I believe
Always
I'm saying
Sunny.
Gen Z in this. Yes.
No, that's not
Always
their version, but they did that like episode where they were, was it Tommy Gunn or the movie? There was the one where they sat in like one of the recent seasons and like they were seeing Tommy Gunn 6 or
That's
whatever
right,
it was,
yeah.
and they had to like focus group it. And then they were just like, why don't you just make comedies like you used to? And it's just like, well, because everyone who's male and between the age of 18 to 30 just illegally streams stuff. And that's what all these comedies were targeted at that age group.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
So they just don't make those comedies anymore.
We fucked it up.
Yeah, we ruined it. So that's why they don't make them. Because people will go to the cinema to watch an Avengers movie because they've marketed it in such a way that you should. You know, they experience it in the big screen. But to go and see like a Will Ferrell, Seth
They'll just stream
Rogen
that.
comedy, it's just like, I've seen that. It's be quite funny. I'll just
Also,
stream
the
it up
critics destroy them all.
here. Yeah, but they don't
before
care.
they even see it.
They don't care.
No, but they don't deserve it. The critics are there for, I don't know what they're there for. They should be there for. If you're a critic of films,
It's really good.
I feel you should be a fan of every genre.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be able to tell when that's very funny, that's a spoof, that's supposed to be like that, and not, Will Ferrell. I'd say Step Brothers got a bad enough review. I'd say it's maybe a 7 or 8. But we would rate that very highly, I would say, in terms of quality, like funniness. You know,
You can't like compare it to like a Shawshank or something.
You do, like,
know,
and it's a different genre.
Yeah.
there's my wee gripe with critics are all
So
wankers.
that's Will Ferrell, Alex Ferguson.
That's very good, yeah.
I'm probably going to go for like another funny type person.
I do that.
But it's a toss up. But I could just throw like 6 names out here and that would be cheating. So I'm just going to pick Peter Kay.
Right.
But weirdly, I think the real Peter Kay off the stage would be quite chill, a bit
He would be,
reclusive.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of now it's like, but then
He's a
my
troll
other
man.
like old school.
What? What did you say?
Peter Kay's family, some of his family's from Tyrone.
You said
Yes.
he's a Tyrone man there.
His ma is.
Ah, he's mass from Tyrone.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I'll probably go with Peter Kay because that was like the first comedian I properly
Blackpool
like
Tower?
loved. Yeah, the Blackpool Tower show. Only until very, very recently. This is embarrassing. So he did that Black Tower on top of the Blackpool Tower. I was like 10 or something when that came out. Just assumed that the ballroom was on top of the tower
Oh, I sure do.
until about a year or two ago.
Wasn't.
There's no ballroom up there.
Fuck's sake.
At
I
least
thought that too.
I'm saying this, and somebody you can fact check.
You're a
this.
conspiracy
There,
nut.
there
It is
might
up
be.
there.
There might be. I don't know. I've never been to Blackpool. I don't actually know. I'm thinking
neither have I.
I don't think there's a ballroom at the top of the tower. And then my little kind of bonus, just to break the rules, would be I'd probably get like someone like I just get like Gordon Ramsay to cook the dinner, and then when he's
And then you could chat
when
to
he's
him.
finished doing the dishes, he could like come in and join us for a wee bit.
That reminds me, Fergal, I think, cut mind, you asked, you were going to, someone said Anthony Bourdain for a guest.
Yep.
And then Fergal, I think you said, it'd be great if he would cook. And I goes, fucking let the man have a relax. Like, let the man chill out. He had a hard life, and you're fucking his last dinner table.
He did not have a hard life. He traveled around the world fucking.
Aye, but he's Aye, but he's dead, and Fergo's making him work in the kitchen. Like, what the fuck? Like, chill out. Let him have a fucking meal. Sorry.
I don't actually even think. I think he was a good. Like, he was never a famous chef.
It wasn't. He read that book.
Kitchen Confidential.
Have you read it?
The best audiobook, because he's got one of those voices where you can listen to it. Oh, he read it.
Must look that up. Damn it.
It's so good. I actually would say I think I first listened to it either just before I started Bodega or just like a few months into it, and then it really inspired me to like go on. And then I very quickly realized that like I hired people that are much better at cooking and baking than I am, so I just let them
100%.
crack on.
Very good.
It's a great audiobook.
Very good. We're actually kind of getting into that sort of side of things now, Stephen. We're going to do your origin story.
Oh.
As you've heard, we probably a wee bit before. We try to go back to like an early memory, like a wee bit of an early memory of childhood or as far back as you remember. Where was it? Like, was it at home or?
Weirdly, been thinking about this because obviously I got a 7-week-old, and I need to start like realizing at what point will they remember things.
Yeah,
so like I feel like at the minute you kind of have like you can just. You've got like a free, you got a free window where it's like she'll never remember like anything at this point.
What the fuck have you done?
Yeah, no. But just so you're kind of like you gotta be like, oh, I can't swear.
Yes.
I got a bit of a. So I kind of like I can remember nursery school really well.
Yeah.
Like I remember.
You one of those guys?
Yeah, I just love nursery school. I can still remember it watching Pippin in his little spotty airplane.
Fucking
flying
Pippin.
about.
I vaguely remember him.
I remember one part of that where they got the fake poo. They went to the fake poo factory to see how the fake poo was made. Like it was like a joke thing.
This is bringing back.
Is it? Yeah. And she sets it on the ground by accident, and then she was like, "Oh, Pippin, you pooed," and then she goes, "Oh, it's fake." Oh, Pippin, and that's how it ends.
This is a terrible
No, it
show.
doesn't. It ends when they get out of the fucking plane.
And they just stayed at the factory.
She thinks it's fake poo.
I remember nursery school. I can remember being in a pram,
Yeah.
but that must have been pre-nursery school. At least I'd like to think
You
it
were
was.
maybe a late bloomer then.
Oh, well, maybe I was a June baby, so I was late for.
Late
I
bloomer.
was always until I was about 15, one of the smallest people in my class. Always.
How do you know? You're
Like
quite tall.
6'3".
Jesus.
You're
This is official media. 6'4".
we'll cut that.
This has been
Sorry, do it
documented.
again, do it
This has been documented.
What height are you?
6'5".
I let it done.
But no, I can. Nursery school I can remember, and then I can remember loads of stuff in primary school.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
So I'm from Ballymena. I like to say I'm from like the rough street. So I was born on the Durry Road, which is like.
How long? Somebody's wasting fuel. How long? Wasting fuel. Wasting fuel. Gone. Sorry.
So born in Durry Road or the DR. Went to Donclog Primary School. It was a pretty rough area, but like I lived in the other side of the road that was a bit nicer.
Yes, posh boy.
But I still wouldn't say posh in that part, but like working class, middle class.
Yes.
But then we moved to Gallagher when I was about 7.
So you lived in the hotel.
Yeah. Room 207. Just like a young what's he called?
Rich.
No, I'm thinking of
Richie
Steve Coogan's character.
Oh, I know.
What's he called?
Oh my God, what is he
I
called?
actually would rather you just keep imitating him and then it'll come to us.
The Lexi.
He's had
Alan
Partridge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, like the little village of Gallagher. So like moved there when I was like 7. But like that Donclog Primary School was rough.
Was
You know,
it?
like so I remember like walking home in that primary school and like they would warn us boys would like try and give you a mobile phone if you went and sat in the flat towers for a few hours and then ring the number if the police came in this side or the estate. I was always too much of a goody-goody. I never would have done it. Or like, running and telling the teacher, oh, there's syringes in the playground and all. Like it was roughish.
That sounds rough enough.
Yeah. But then I went there, but I loved it as well. I think like you could drop a kid into that environment and they don't know. Like
They don't know
it
anything.
just feels normal. I didn't think it was rough when I went.
They come in from playtime and go,
think-
Daddy, there's no syringes in the garden. What's going on?
I think I like left and then went to secondary school in the academy, which is like the posh school in Ballymena.
Right?
And then I was kind of like, where are these syringes, in the playground and all like. But yeah, so from Ballymena, from like the town, moved out to Gallagher. Then went to uni in Queens when I was like 18, and then just never moved back.
Do you have many siblings or anything?
One older sister.
Very good.
So just moved to Belfast at 18, and I've been there, which is weird because I'm 33 now.
Yeah.
So that's nearly half my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't feel like you
I
think,
mean, it must be shade.
you feel.
But what I was going to ask you was about school. What did you excel at school? Do you think?
So I think in primary school, I think I kind of was like in my primary school year, I was like one of the smart ones. And my sister before me, she's really like academic, so she was one of the smart ones. And then I went to like secondary school, and I was like, oh, it's quite easy. And then straight away, I was like not one of the smart ones. Everyone was. I kind of went. I was like a small fish in a very small pool, and then I went into this massive big sea. And then I kind of like, I think I got a little bit almost disillusioned by it. So I was always like a very average student. Would come home and like my sister would have been like, oh, I got 97%, 95%, and I come home and be like, Mom, Dad, I got 70% in this exam and 65%, and they'd be like, And I'd be like, but the class average was 70 and 65,
Yeah,
Boom,
exactly.
Bang on,
That's
you
still
know.
awesome.
That's what. So
What were you strong in? Do you think?
like maths, but I never studied it beyond GCSE. I kind of like, so why people are either mathematic or they're artistic. I was like a bit of both at the same time.
That's good.
Was okay at art, played a bit of music, was okay at quite liked maths, hated science, hated languages, loved business studies whenever you kind of got into that kind of A-level age. Loved business studies, loved economics, loved media studies. They all kind of linked as well, because they were all kind of like, this is stuff that's in the real life world. You're learning about like GDPR and inflation and stuff in economics, and then you're like, oh, there it is in the news.
That's
it's not kind of like, well, it'd probably offend a lot. It's not like learning chemistry and how often do people, other than in like a TV quiz, are you asked about the periodic table or something?
Yeah,
so I think if I had something interested in it, I would grasp it and pay attention. Whereas if it was something like sciences or something, or languages, I just very active imagination, so would just kind of sit there and probably look like I was listening, but could go into a 40-minute class and tune out about 3 minutes in, and tune back in with about a minute to go.
Science, actually.
So yeah, it wasn't like a terrible student, wasn't a great student either. I'd like to say very average.
Did you say you went on to A-levels and then uni?
Did A-levels, went to uni, did business studies, which has kind of seems to have worked now.
Yeah.
But for about 10 years after, I went and worked for a company called Deloitte. So they're a big IT business consultancy company, which is great. So complete fluke, just fell into it. Was like right at the end of second year uni, everyone who was getting a placement already had one.
What did you study?
Business management.
Oh, you actually went on to uni?
So I really wanted one because I just didn't want to go into final year. Because again, being a June baby, it's like, I'm basically going to graduate and then turn 21. That's mad. Like, uni's supposed to last longer.
Yeah.
And then Deloitte, right in that summer, were like, oh, we should have probably advertised for this a long time ago, but we want one placement student. And it's the first time we're ever doing it. And I think all the good students had been picked up already. So I just...
Ach, don't say that.
I sort of zoomed in there, got that placement, did it for a year, did my final year degree, got a wee Desmond, as I call it, a wee tutu.
Nice.
By like 0.1%. Shouldn't have even got employed by Deloitte because they're like, we only take you if you got 2.1, but they're like, you're a good lad, we knew you for a year.
Yeah.
You know,
You're dead on.
nobody brought like tea and biscuits into the meeting room quite like you did, so we'll bring you back.
Did they have fun? Did you have fun during the placement? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, because like the first 8 weeks of it, they were like, right, you're just joining the grad program, and the first 8 weeks for all the Belfast grads is in London. Here's your accommodation in Kensington. You can fly home at the weekend if you want. You've got a £30 a night meal allowance. Go enjoy yourself. So I was just like, whoa. I remember going into like final year students at like Coleraine and Jordanstown at like careers day, because that's kind of what I did. My placement year was just go to loads of career fairs and stuff because they didn't really know what to do with me. And I was chatting to people who were like basically my age or slightly older, and I was like, oh, they'll send you to London, you get £30 a night meal allowance, you get the newest iPhone, and you get a nice swanky laptop, and everyone was like, oh, this sounds great. And then I was like, what do you actually do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm a placement student. They don't put me in proper projects. They don't want to send me away to do any travel. They think I'm too young. So I'm kind of just doing little internal bits and coming to career fairs and telling you about the iPhone that you'll get if you sign up. So did that, and then went back after uni, joined them, and worked for like another 6 or 7 years. But I mean, in those I think it was 7 years. In those 7 years, I was based in Belfast, lived in Belfast. I worked in Belfast for 3-4 weeks. The rest of the time, I was England. So I was one of those people that was at International City Airport at 7 a.m. every Monday morning.
Lad.
Flying
Did you
back.
enjoy it?
It's a young person's game.
I was going to say you must have enjoyed it all right.
Yeah, like I really did. Like I loved it whenever I was in a good city. Like for 4.5, 5 of those 7 years, I was in London.
Aye.
And it was so good. For the last 4 years, I was in one project. I was able to make mates, both that I worked with and just outside of work, who lived in London. So every like week I'd go over, I'd have like my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night planned out type thing. But I put on so much weight. Like I used to be really skinny, and then I got really big, and then now I'm kind of back to being like normal again. But like, you know, you are Richie Rich in it when you're a placement student and you're sitting in like a Park Plaza hotel and Big Ben's out your window and you've got a £30 meal allowance, but you don't really have anyone to hang out with, so you go on to Just Eat and you find a kebab shop or a chicken shop in London, and you're like, I'm gonna spend the 30 quid. Because it wasn't like if I spent a tenner, they're giving me 20 quid in my pocket. I'll spend the 30
Have to
quid.
spend this
You did it
here.
a few times, and then you actually start to feel a bit gluttonous, because like you're getting like a kebab, a pizza, chicken wings, a chicken burger, 2 litre Coke, onion rings, wedges.
Just
garlic
one
bread.
order?
Just one order.
Oh, fuck off.
And you're just eating like maybe a quarter of each thing. You did this 2 or 3 times, and then you sort of realised, A, I feel really unwell. B, onion rings from a wee chicken shop, or just
that
the wee
great?
frozen ones, or soggy. You know, none of this was nice. And then you sort of just start eating really nice places as well, but you just start to realise that Nando's and Wagamamas and stuff are like sort of healthy if you get healthier options.
Yeah.
They're always easy, and it's always easy to, you could usually
Yeah.
buy yourself and one of the London people who didn't get free dinner, but they'd be like, "Oh yeah, tonight," and I'd be like, "Oh, not much," and they're like, "Oh, not much either," and I'm like, "Do I get Nando's after work? I'll put it in the card."
Cheeky Nando's.
So just wee things like that. So I did really enjoy it, and then
What was your role?
I started off as the thing they called a business analyst. Yeah. So this is the underlying thing that I always look at now in Bodega. Was I joined there and they put me in the IT side of it to do basically, well, you kind of come from this where so like getting the requirements, you know, for your sprint boards and your agile boards.
Specking them all out.
So if you want to build a big IT project, this is for the listeners. If you want to build a big IT project, you don't just say, "Oh, we want it to do A, B, and C." It has to do like 1,600 things. You know, I hit this button, this happens, this doesn't happen.
Yeah, the journey
I
of the
submit this
customer.
form, this happens, this doesn't happen. So I would just sit with like the people and just ask them questions.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, so what do you do when this happens?
You're literally solving a problem.
What happens in this?" And you just draw like a big process map
Yeah.
out, and then you try and find like where things could go wrong, and then you just like write it in a little. As a user, I want to
Workflow.
do this whenever I hit this button, but I don't want it
standard
to do
operating
this.
procedures.
And acceptance criteria and all. So you just type that up and give it to the actual IT people. I just sat in meetings for 6-7 years. I went from that to being like the project manager, which was even worse because I sat in meetings with techie people all day, every day, and never understood it. Never wrote a line of code in 7 years.
But all you
Probably,
needed to know was the process.
yeah, I got by. I was always very envious of the people who used to be like developers and then came and started doing my role, because they actually sat in the meetings and understood everything.
Yeah.
Aye.
But at the same time, I could sit in a meeting and chat to someone about something, and they might not have been quite as good at like making bonding with the client or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I had like the people skills more.
I know
But then
what
I
you
just spent 7 years kind of like almost as if I was in science class.
Yeah.
Sitting in meetings, tuning out, not knowing what's going on, and then just getting to the end and being like, right, will that take you 2 hours to do that or 2 days? And they'd be like, oh, I think if you've been listening, it's probably going to take more like 2 weeks. And I'd be like, can we just cut a bit of it out that we don't really need and do it in a week?
That sound like me, no?
Yeah. So this is what I did. So then I went and started a hospitality business and working in bagels, and never worked a day in my life in hospitality. Part-time jobs for like a petrol station, Sports Direct, and a call center.
Yeah.
Never had done like a shift even in hospitality. Had never really been much of a baker.
But you've got the workflow down.
Loved to cook. Loved to, and then got into a bit of baking in lockdown and just end up snowballing from there. But then I just very quickly was just like, oh, I'm back to doing stuff that I don't know anything about. So whenever I worked in IT, I was like, well, there's all these smart people that do understand, so I'll just bring them into the meeting with me.
Just delegate it out.
They can ask it. Yeah, just that's what I do. It's just that, and I'm like the most anti-control freak person. I like to know everything's happening.
It's the best side.
Yeah, but I was always so envious of everyone that could go. There'd be people that could do what I could do, but they also had the tech knowledge. So then they could like question people. You know, if I ask you, it's not going to take 2 days, and you say it's going to take 2 weeks, and we walk out and say a week, I walk out feeling, oh, that's quite good. You know, I got them down from 2 weeks to a week, and everybody seems to understand what's happening except me, but everyone else seems happy. Whereas they could be like, bullshit, a week. That should take you 2 hours because you should do it this way, this way, and this way.
Yes.
But it's all about managing expectations.
So
and that's literally what the personas are you're dealing with. You're like, this is what's happening. You need to deal with the creative or the code person, and then the other person needs to be told, look, this person needs enough time for this to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then you're managing the expectations of both. You're the middleman.
I think with Bodega, my like mantra is hire people who are better than you to do that thing.
100%.
Like I honestly kind of feel like my job is project manager. It's
you're R&D.
we have the product, just build a team that delivers it, and then I always like to try and find out what this. So people will just come in, you know, young. I'll come in and do this thing that you're advertising for, but then it's trying to figure out what do they actually quite like doing, and then find a way for them to do more of that.
Yeah.
And then they can run with it.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. We did that similar to what with Shady Dolphin. Like, just figure out what people enjoy, bring them in. They're skilled, they're keen, they want to be involved in it. What do you like doing? Do that, and focus on that, and do it well. Like, and that's what you do.
There's things I learned from that, like very corporate world that you just don't do in hospitality businesses. That I think is almost like a real shame.
Yeah.
Like I remember whenever I started, I was like, right, we're going to go out for a dinner or drinks once every month as a group, you know. And the people were like, but you do that once a year at Christmas. Like, we don't do it as regularly now because got baby and things are busy and stuff. But we used to be a lot better at it. And I just think things like that are like
building a wee bit of a relationship with everybody. Like,
I'm not saying that like obviously loads of restaurants and stuff will go out and party after every shift and all, like it does exist.
100%.
I remember even at the start I tried to almost take it too far and be like, right, we're going to work this first real busy mad Sunday market shift here where there's going to be 2,000 people coming into Banana Block, and we're going to have a 30-person queue for solid 6 hours, and then we're going to sit in the Wednesday and do a retrospective. Or, you know, like we'll talk about what went well and what didn't go well and what we can improve on and all. And then you just very quickly kind of realize, you just got to just sit there,
slug it out,
walk out and go, right, we're not doing that next week. Yeah, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Because people don't like, they love doing that in the corporate world. I think because you're there for 8 hours a day and you've got 6 months to deliver something, people just try to fill their time up with stuff. Whereas when you work in hospitality, it's like, right, we open in an hour. There'll probably be people coming in an hour and 2 minutes, and we need to be ready for 12 o'clock whenever we get the lunch rush start coming. So just everything's instant and time boxed. Corporates have
but you're still doing what you were planning to do on that, say, Wednesday with that sort of session. You're doing it in the smarter way, the faster approach and a better processed way.
Yeah. And then also even now I'm just like, the backers are self-reliant team, and they'll just come to me and be like, oh, if we did this, it would be quicker. Or if we did this, or if you bought this. Obviously, there's stuff you could buy a bigger mixer and a better oven and a better boiler, but these things cost so much money.
It sounds
like a big oven would be 10 grand.
Yeah.
A big mixer would be 3 grand. A new boiler could be 4 grand. I love to have all the biggest, best stuff, but you kind of have to make do.
When to make that purchase, like?
I was going to say there, whenever your staff comes to you to try to make things more efficient, you know, they're constant problem solvers, and you've put that in there as kind of like a culture, in a sense, a small culture. You ever hear of the lean?
Lean 15 and
the lean method of like engineering manufacturing.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Seaton Matters in Limavady? You've heard of Seaton Matters, probably. You ever have, Jude? No. There's this guy. They're the Tierney family. And the main one you would see, you've been linked in quite a bit. I'm actually getting a tour of his factory in a few months' time, which I'm looking forward to. So they go in, Jude, just for your own knowledge, and Stephen, is they followed this lean method where they empower all their staff to constantly problem solve. So if something is in a certain shelf or in a certain way, or handled in a certain way that causes an obstruction or a problem or a time delay, it's not about like making everybody quicker, but it's about making it an easier transition. So does it need a sticker? Does it need something behind it? Does it need a bin for this? Does it need stuff like this? And we were doing a wee bit of it today. I was on a shoot with the company I work with, and you take out, say for example yourself, you grab a pot of ingredients, and when you pull that pot of ingredients out, it's empty. One from behind slides in. like, and it's ready to go. So you don't have to go and refill it. It's already ready to go. So you're constantly refilling that box in your spare time, and you never run out, and it keeps the things going. It's called the Kanban.
Kanban board, yeah.
Kanban board. And your uncle is quite a guy for it too, named Tom Hughes. He has his own book about it. Like, it's fascinating. I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, it's a lot. Like, this is all like business management degree stuff at Queen's.
It's great. Like,
I'm kind of like sparking things that I've been possibly pressed in there.
And those guys now have Seating Matters, where they create specialist chairs and furniture for like nursing homes and people with special needs and all over the world. But then they kind of have a separate side of the business where it's all about the lean. People come in and get a tour of their factory. They have a podcast where they talk to other business owners about their manufacturing woes and how they solved it. Fascinating stuff. Like,
I love it. Yeah, I love stuff like
look
that. Because even like we used to learn all about Toyota and their just-in-time production, and that's why Japanese cars then overtook American cars.
It's like a founder. It's like that scene in the founder.
Yeah. I always like the example. I think it was my business studies teacher in school told me this. It's like, I don't know, Swan or someone, whatever the biggest company in America for making matches is, it does it.
This one,
and they had a suggestion box. It's like, what suggestions from staff? And someone on the factory floor put one in, being like, why the wee bit that you strike the match on, why are you putting that down both sides of the boxes? You only need it down one side. And it was like some random, and it literally like half the price of the box is near enough, and it like saved them like, you know, millions and millions, like hundreds of millions over 20, 30, 40 years.
That's a great story.
It's just so easy.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah. So I was actually, you told your story there pretty quick, actually. Not well quick, but quite detailed and to the point. But I wanted to take you back to the setting up of Bodega.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think we didn't really touch on that.
No,
did we?
well,
talk to us
very
about,
start.
Talk to us about the lead up to that. What piqued your interest? Where did the idea or the passion for I'm picking bagels and I'm running with it?
I think so. I did 7 years at Deloitte, and I went to a smaller IT firm in Belfast because I just couldn't. I didn't want I bought a house.
Stay close to home.
Wasn't quite engaged, but was sort of getting to that point in my life, and I just was like, I just need to like stop travel and actually stop living out of a suitcase. And then joined this new company. Within 3 months, COVID hit, so I could have stayed and not traveled probably again, basically. Anyway, but I'm still glad I made the move.
Yeah.
But then I always wanted, like, I think if you had asked me when I was like 12 or 13, and it sounds like such a wanky thing to say, but if someone's like, what do you want to be when you're older? I'd be like, an entrepreneur. Because I was like obsessed. Like, I was like 13, 14 reading like Richard Branson's book and Alan Sugar's book and Bill Gates' book.
I love them.
You know, just like I'm going on holidays reading like autobiographies about like big, famous, rich people. And I think when I went and worked in IT and it was all around like apps and QR codes and all this stuff was coming out in smartphones and 4G, and I was just like, I need to build an app, you know, I need to build an app. And then Richard Branson, I heard once saying, all like the millennials are too focused on IT and software and apps, and service industries really fallen behind, and it's become aging out and stuff. And he used the example like, you know, you could revolutionize laundromats or if someone did it, and you know,
I read that in his book.
So I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. So then I love food, and me and Kirsty, my wife, we just love traveling, and we base our holidays around eating.
Yeah.
And we'll always have like, we'll go here for lunch, and there's this place, and looking up, and she's in TikTok finding where like all the little hidden street food gems and all are, and I always like, I love to do this, I'd love to do this. But then you kind of get to the point where it's like, oh, but I need to get the engagement ring, and I need to pay for the wedding. And then we got married, I knew that we were engaged. We actually got engaged about 3 days before Boris did his "You must stay at home" speech in Iceland. So we went to Iceland, the country. Got engaged, flew home, and then like 3 or 4 days later, COVID started, and then started working from home. And I think I was kind of like COVID was really nice for that first 12 months because you saved if you weren't in furlough, you saved a bomb of money.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't spend it. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go on holidays, and you couldn't even get a takeaway for long stretches. So we were kind of like, right, that's kind of like the wedding. It's kind of like now I basically sorted. And I was like, I don't have anything big I have to save for here right now. And at the same time, I despised working from home. I loved it for the first 6 months, just greasing about, doing nothing, chilling, just like getting by, run out of bed at 9:30 to jump on your stand-up calls and all, like everyone did. And then I very quickly people started coming back to the office, and I was trying to get my team, who I was like a delivery manager of, all of them to come in. It's like, no, I mean, actually, I moved to Portrush. I'm not coming in anymore, or I'll only come down once every 3 months. It's like, well, what's the point of having 7 of the 8 people in the office? Because we're still going to have to dial you in.
Yeah.
Crowd around a speakerphone just makes no use. So I started to actually really hate my job purely based on that. And it just didn't suit my extroverted manner. And then I was like looking a little bit at other jobs, and I was like, but they're all like, oh, you can work from home 4 days a week and all. And I was just like, oh, this entire thing because I grew up basically in my working life of being in London or Manchester, you know, big cities, working on a project team with 30 people on an office floor of 500 people in an office building of 5,000 people, and just going out for pints after work, real social, to then coming back to Belfast where it was a bit slower, to then COVID starting, to then working from your bedroom 4 or 5 days a week.
Just like halt of everything, really.
Despised it. It just didn't work. And then I was just like, I kept just telling myself it's now or never, but what's it going to be? And I always just was like, oh, Boojum's so lucky that they went and got Mexican food before anyone else was doing it. Because everybody kind of knew it and liked it, but there wasn't a place doing it.
Yeah.
And then I think people were doing sourdough bread. People were doing banana loaves.
Yeah.
I tried doing sourdough, and it's like having a pet, having to feed this starter and and I just couldn't get my head around it. So then I made bagels, and it's like, it's quite good. I'll go and buy some proper bagels to compare them. And I was like, oh, there isn't a bagel shop in Northern Ireland. I was like, that's really weird. Everybody loves bagels.
Yeah.
Why is there not a bagel shop? There's a few places, but they don't like bake the bagels.
Yeah.
The chain, aye.
Yeah, the chain. There's like Bagel Bean in Armagh. It's really famous. There's
Preda Manager or something.
Pret Monge. But they don't do bagels either.
They might do a bagel, but they're not a bagel place.
Yeah, it's like a Cafe Nero.
Yeah, pretty much.
Type
Yeah.
vibe. So I was really just like, how is there not a bagel shop? Like, I think there used to be one right opposite St. Anne's Cathedral in Belfast.
Yes, I went to that whenever I was at uni.
Called Bagel.
Yeah, Bagel.
But it was like long gone at this point, and I had never been.
It was
And
brilliant.
then I was kind of like, oh wow, right, okay. So then I just went down a wormhole, and then I jumped in. Then I was like, right, I'm gonna do it. But my dream was, I wanted to get to the point where I can do 3 or 4 days a week, maybe become a contractor, self-employed IT delivery manager contractor, and do 3 or 4 days a week, and then maybe get into like St. George's Market and do a Saturday or a Sunday or both if I'm lucky, make 500 quid a weekend and just survive like that. And I was like, then I'll be getting my human interaction with customers and maybe 1 or 2 staff at the weekends, and I'll do my work from home job. And that was the plan. And then I jumped on Reddit, went onto the bagel subreddit, and was kind of like, I'm in Ireland. We don't have any bagel shops. I would like to learn how to make bagels at scale. I have some questions about yeast and malt. I had like 5. All right, so this is like, I don't know, just like divine intervention, or the Reddit gods were smiling on me. This guy who's like called the Bagel Ambassador, who does bagel walking tours around New York, runs a bagel festival every year that gets hundreds, maybe touching 1,000 people coming to it. Seen it, DM me being like, oh, I can't believe that there isn't any bagel shops. You know, I'll try and give you a help. Oh, I found a guy who's willing to speak to you. So then I ping through to him, and he just is like, send me your mobile number, I'll WhatsApp video call you. So this guy called me from his like car, like the most New York accent you've ever heard. This guy called Scot Rossillo. He invented the rainbow bagel, and he was a bit of a TV celebrity chef in America.
Wow.
Been on TV shows, had his own like bagel books and stuff, and invented the rainbow bagel, and had a really famous bagel shop in Brooklyn.
Class.
So he was like, right, you need to do this, don't do this, do this. And he's just sitting there with like a 2-liter coffee flask, chatting to me for like 2.5 hours.
Just giving you advice.
Just kind of
Giving
like,
you really good shit.
I don't even want to try and do like the New York accent, but it was just like so heavy.
Deadly.
I could have listened to him for like 2 days straight.
Yeah.
And he basically was like, this is how to do it. So then I was kind of like, all right. And then I'd take pictures of some of the equipment I was buying, and I converted my garage into like a little bakery. And I say convert it. Previous owners had put a wooden floor down and plasterboard at the walls and randomly stuck a sink in the corner of the garage. If that sink hadn't been there might not have been a Bodega Bagels. Because you have to have water in a kitchen. And I probably wouldn't have went through the whole process of getting my garage replumbed for something that might have been...
I know what
So
you
I
mean.
basically did the Go For It program, got like £1,000 grant, put it towards a wee blue turbofan oven. It cost me about 1,800 quid, so I got a grand of that back. Had a pool table in the garage, so just got this company to build a stainless steel like little thing that just slot over it. That's my table. Got that. Got the land of a somewhat big mixer. Boom. Off to the races. Took like 6 months to get all of this because of COVID and shipments and stuff. And then just launched it on a Tuesday on a Monday. Went live with an Instagram page. By like the Tuesday had like 200 followers, just friends all shared it, a few people. And then what you did was you ordered 6 bagels from like plain poppy sesame cheddar, jalapeno cheddar, everything. You picked your 6 through the website. You got a time slot. You came to the My Gaff on a Saturday morning. You rang a doorbell at the front of the garage. I walked out with the face mask and all on and gave you your bag of bagels and your tub of cream cheese. Class. And did it, sold out that first Tuesday, like 20 people in like 5 minutes. It was like, whoa, this is class. Yeah. Next Tuesday did 30 people, sold out in 3 minutes. Next Tuesday did 40 people, sold out in 2 minutes. Then we started doing this like countdown thing in an Insta story, and it's like we've got 800 followers and there's 500 people have like this reminder on for whenever these go live, and we've only got 50 slots. Did a pop up then in East Belfast. Thought maybe 100 people would turn up, or well, not 100 people, like 20 people would turn up. Must have been a few hundred people. The queue was literally around the block.
Jesus.
It was just that perfect storm of kind of late in COVID where people needed something to do.
They want something to do, yeah.
They're more than happy to go and queue. It was around the toast office in Hill Street here where people were queuing for 3 hours to get like a ham and cheese toastie.
Mental.
It's just people needed something to do. And then went into Banana Block and did a few pop-ups there in December of 2021. And it was similar to the first pop-up where people just were queuing for... So yeah, you're kind of going back. But the maddest thing about it was Kirsty, my missus, she was sort of like helping. She's from a marketing background, so she was kind of chatting. This was the first pop-up here.
I spotted this earlier.
She was sort of like, would help me with like, the Insta page and what she do and all.
Yeah.
But we posted on that Monday about bagels going live on the Tuesday for pick up on the Saturday for the first time. This is me like, you finally put yourself out there. I always had business ideas, research them, spend hours thinking of a logo, spend days thinking of a name, but not actually how to do anything with the business. Get bored of it, move on to the next thing. Or just that dreaded thing where you get really into something for 2 or 3 days and then someone's like, oh yeah.
Thing has that.
You're talking about that. You're talking about that, you want to just type something and get, that's that Google. And I'm like, Google, what's that? Jump on, it's shit, it's my idea.
It's just you hyper-focusing for a few days.
There's nothing worse than doing something and then realizing that it already exists and it's not
100%
even that successful because it's a flawed business idea and you're like, oh. But then I just found this perfect storm, did a few pop-ups, did it for another 3 or 4 months, and then Banana Block were like, right, we love having you here, but we need, like, there's other vendors here, and like the cafe space, you need to be open 5 days a week. So I was like, all right, I'm getting married in the end of April here, I'll go full-time in May type thing. And then within about 6 weeks of going full-time, Trade Market was like, do you want to come in July? And I was like, how can I go from nothing to 2 spots in like 3 months? So I did it and then spent about a year trying to retrospectively put processes in place. And I just say no to nothing. Do you want to do a pop-up for summer in Portrush? Yes. Do you want to do this? Yes. Do you want to cater the movie studio at 4 a.m.? Yes.
I can't do that, but yes.
Yeah. So and then figure out.
When all these new places started to open up, how quickly did you start upgrading your equipment and hiring staff, and how did that whole process that? Because that's obviously a nerve-wracking thing. It's one thing going from like you yourself in your wee backyard.
Yeah.
If this fucks up, it's only on you. But then,
growing. So we did. It was fine because for like the first 3 months it was just weekends, so it was mostly mates who had jobs who just wanted a bit of extra money
just to help out,
and I just pay them, and it was all good. I think the first proper like stranger that I hired through an ad was a baker who was Nicole, who's still our baker.
Brilliant.
And the way that we used to make the dough was we'd like make the dough in like a big plastic box, and then it would rise up. Then you'd have to get up at like 5 a.m, roll that into a ball, literally stick your thumb through it, stretch it out, then boil it and bake it. And I was like, it's like you have to start so early to get this ready. The way they all do it in America is they roll it into rings the day before with the raw dough. They make a big tube, roll it into a ring, put it in these wooden boards in a fridge. So it was about, so to answer your question about equipment, I had this really shit little oven and an okay mixer and that's kind of the most. And then I had like a big gas wok burner and a giant wok filled with water, and that's how I like filled it. So my garage was just like a sauna.
Sounds like a mad scientist.
Yeah, just a sauna. Like I got a 5-star food hygiene rating for my garage because you just follow these 20 rules and it's fine. But like it was a proper little sauna in there. But I used to on a Friday work Monday to Friday, but maybe knock off a little bit early, like 2 or 3, start making dough. I'd work from like 3 p.m. to like 3 a.m. I would then go up the stairs and past Kirsty. She would be coming down the stairs. And I'd have had basically most of the bag, because we could only cook like 12 bagels at a time, but we were trying to sell like 300 on a Saturday morning from the garage. And then it got worse when we went to Banana Block, because the bakery was still in the garage, but we had to start selling 300, 400, 500, and they had to be fresh. So we were just like working. Maybe over the weekend, I would maybe get up at 8 a.m. on a Friday, and from about 4 p.m. on a Sunday, I maybe have slept like 6 or 7 hours, and then not worked for like another 1 or 2 of those hours. It was horrendous.
Nuts.
That's why now when people are like, I feel like I've almost got it out of the way. You know, this, you have to work 80 hours a week to get something. Like I did it for that little short period, and then now I'm mostly 9 to 5-ish. Like you never stop thinking about it, and you're always.
Yeah.
But so about that was December, November, December. In February, I went and spent like my first big piece of money, which was like all the money we had made at that point plus savings, and bought like a bigger, much better second-hand oven, a bigger donut fryer that instead of putting oil into, we put water into, and that boils the bagels.
Nice.
And a big proper double door fridge that these wooden boards go into. And as soon as we did that, we were off to the races. Hired Nicole, had this weird way of making all the heavy lifting had to be done in the morning. It was like showing her YouTube videos, being like, right, I'm about to get married and go off on my honeymoon. And so this is actually the worst. We got married on a Sunday and it went full time in the Wednesday. We got married on a Friday, and it went full time the following Wednesday, but we were on our honeymoon for the first 3 weeks. So the first 3 weeks I opened up my first proper business. I wasn't there. And I didn't want to do it. I wanted to wait another month, but Banana Block were like, no, it has to be this month. Like we need to get like
Fucking hell.
food and coffee going in here. But like her and 2 of my mates, Michael and Aaron, ran with it, and it was fine. But it wasn't the first week in the honeymoon. You're waking up at like 3 a.m. and like checking your phone to see if a sale had gone through, because it was like 8 or 9 a.m. at home and it should be open. And then you see like a couple of sales in, you're like, well, they've obviously
They figured it out.
figured it out. And then after about a week, I was able to kind of switch off,
Calm down.
and enjoy myself a bit more.
Class.
But Nicole figured out then by the time I come back how to pre-roll them the night before. And she's still, so that's my first ever employee that wasn't a mate, and she's still like there, kind of like running
That's a
the
good hire
bakery
to have.
show now. And I've got like, I've just got really lucky with staff.
Yeah.
Basically, I only lose staff if they're a student and they get like an actual
Yeah, job.
40-hour a week big boy, big girl job in a law firm or IT firm or wherever they're going off to do. So most of my staff hang around for a while, which is good. But yeah, I feel like this is probably the most stressful point right now because of the whole trade market thing disappearing.
Yeah.
And it's never really been too stressy. You kind of got 2 places given to me quite early, said yes to both of them, and have been figuring it out ever since. I've never made massive money out of it, but always have enough to pay the bills. But then I live off very little because I can eat free food and coffee every day. I don't drink as much now because there's always that, I can't be hungover the next day.
Yeah.
So like my expenses are way down. I earn a lot less than I used to back in my corporate world, but I'm not working from home in a bedroom 5 days a
And
week.
you're not.
Yeah, you're
I got,
happier.
I got a
It's
community
not-
of people.
It's not someone else's stress, it's just your own.
Yeah.
And you're able to handle them better.
My stress now is, that like the reoccurring nightmare you had. For me, it used to be that I was sitting in an exam at uni and someone would be like, or I'd be walking like in the library and someone would be like, have you done that coursework for tomorrow? And I'd be like, I haven't been in class in 3 weeks. I don't know what you're talking about. That and then you'd wake up and be like, it's all right, I have a job. Like, I'm fine. That was 6 years ago. I'm fine. Now my reoccurring nightmare is Bodega goes away and I'm like, I have to get a job, like a proper job, like a real job. And I'm like, could I do that again?
Could you go back to that?
Yeah, so, but I also think that once you start one thing, it kind of demystifies it.
Yeah.
It's not scary.
Aye.
It's like you realize that
You're
actually...
able to just slip back into something like that if you ever had to.
I'm not saying that I've like the bagels didn't work, I would just instantly start something else. I feel like I'd love to get the bagels to like up a couple more levels, and then kind of like the guys that are there now, I'm like, right, you run it. You know.
Do you have any other ideas?
No, not like, I think there's loads of things you can do with food. I think there's so much
not being done.
Well, no, I think almost the opposite. There's loads of ideas, but it's a bit like the app idea going back to like 10 minutes ago, where I'm like, oh, I should do these. And then you Google it, and then there's someone in a food truck in Uri doing it, and they're doing it really well. Or, you know,
seems
like,
to be everyone in this country is doing barbecue.
Barbecues,
quite well at the moment.
barbecues, I think last 2023 was the year of the burger.
Yes,
The smash burger.
Smash burger.
So pizza was maybe COVID. Everybody got uni ovens. Loads of pizza businesses were born.
That one.
Smash burgers became a thing, and this year's barbecue. And the thing is, in like England last year, when we were having our barbecue revolution here, they were having a bagel one, and it was becoming the hipster, trendy food. So I was always really scared that there'd be all these like copycats. But I think a lot of people have realized that bagels are actually a pain in the arse to make. 'Cause you got to boil them and get specialized equipment and all. So
Not all glam,
so hopefully,
but all fun.
But yeah, so that's kind of I still feel like though I've got 2 full-time pop-ups, and I've never had to go out and sign a big 5-year scary lease, pump 50 grand into getting somewhere fixed up and ready to go, you know, put fire alarms and security
Does that
and
excite
shutters.
you?
No, it terrifies me. And I've been looking for places in town for a few years, and there's a few like new build ones have come up where it's a shell, and I'm like, well, what's the landlord doing? It's like, no, you get it as a shell and you fit it out. And I'm like, so do I not pay rent for the first 3 years? And they're like, maybe the first 3 months. I'm like, you literally want me to put the plumbing and the electrics, the lights, everything in, but that's standard.
And then your hospitality business.
That's more desirable to loads of,
Because then they can do what they want.
like a Cafe Nero or a Pret would far rather be given a shell than to have to
they
go
would
in.
have a blueprint though.
Yeah, have to retrospectively change like a little coffee shop.
if you could do that, do you have like lots of ideas for what you'd want your shop to look like? Or
went to New York like 6 months ago, November. Just over like last November time, and went to like every bagel shop that we could find and met the bagel ambassador guy.
Class.
Brilliant.
Thanked him.
Yeah. And it was like a really nice story for his social media as well, to be like, I plucked this little person from a Reddit page and
Sweet Irish guy.
put him in touch with people, and now he's got a bagel business.
That's unreal.
So I just like, I want to get that proper New York deli. So it's called Bodega Bagels. Bodega is a corner shop in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So in London they call them corner shops. New York they call them bodegas, and here we call them,
the local bodega.
we call them spars. Spars or Sintras, depending on where you're from. And then they all have like their big hot food counters, and they do bagels, but they're not actually, if you talk to a New Yorker, like a bodega bagel is not actually a good bagel.
Yeah,
You got to go to but even the specialized bagel shops you go in, but it's all like packs of stuff here. It's all random little, it's like going into like a Sawyer's type thing.
Yes.
But they've just got like everything, and then you go to like
not
real
fresher.
Jewish delis, and it's all these hundreds of different types of pickled fish, and then you got like maybe like more like Southern American style bodegas, and it's just like all this weird like different spice nuts and all. And so I just want to get like something really cool in the city center, good coffee, bagels being pumped out all day, and
Just very fresh.
yeah, and then like sweet backs, cause like just have like people coming in. The thing is that we don't get is we've never had a breakfast crowd, and that's what I
Yes,
need.
that's what
because
you need,
Banana
yeah.
Block's kind of a destination place.
Yeah.
We're getting people
Yes.
in now to work from there as like kind of like a free co-work type space. So it's getting a little bit busier in the morning, but we don't open until 10. Tried it at 8, nobody came. Tried it at 9, wasn't really worth it. So 10 was the sweet spot. We're a lunch spot there, 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. It's like 90% of our business. And then trade markets, we were only open 12 to 4 because it licensed, it couldn't open till 12. So it'd be lovely to get somewhere in the town that like
First thing in the morning.
you're maybe busy from 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Close by a few workplaces and
Yeah,
public commutes.
and then you start getting like, you know, bus drivers that are starting at like 7 will call into you for a coffee and a bagel like first thing. Because that's the thing about it. We don't really have in this country, Northern Ireland loves coffee.
Yeah.
And they really are. Like it's a snobby coffee country.
Yeah, I think
like
so.
everyone loves their flat whites and oat vanilla lattes and everything, you know. Filter coffees, although it's getting kind of trendy again, looked down upon a bit. But we don't have like croissants, or like people don't eat soda bread 4 times a week with their coffee.
No.
Where in America, Americans or New Yorkers will eat 4 or 5 bagels a week.
Yeah,
It's just a thing.
It's a part of their sort of
Tradition or
Yeah.
diet.
culture.
It's part of their diet.
It's just you grow up eating bagels, and they're just everywhere as well. Like you would never see I'm sure you do, but you'd not like when I was there, you wouldn't see them like sitting outside cafes eating croissants.
Yeah.
I'm sure some do, but it's a big city. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the dream. Make
That'd
it
be
look
unreal.
like I want someone who's from New York to walk into it and be like,
This is
Feels like home.
yeah, this
home,
seems
man.
familiar. And we get so many American customers, and I got so many, and I should be better at like screenshotting messages from people and posting them. I just don't do it enough. But like we get so many Americans that just send unsolicited messages being like, I've lived here 8 years, and that's the first bagel I've had that tasted like a New York bagel.
Really?
You get them screenshots up. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Definitely.
starting to do it
That's a
more and
testament.
more. But like we get loads. Like we're doing stuff for the consulate, which is like the ambassador, but we don't have an ambassador in Northern Ireland. They're like the consulate office,
Yeah.
and all, and it's just all American staff and all. So yeah, got loads of Americans in.
It's class. Like, that's a testament to you.
Yeah. And that's like one of my first ever customers to the garage was a New York guy, and he still would come now and again and buy bagels.
It's class.
And they would tell me all about Zazar's Deli and, Russ and Daughter's famous bagel shop deli and all. So,
Very good.
but it's different in America as well because they eat so much salmon.
Yeah.
Like probably half of all the bagels that are sold are a salmon bagel, whereas over here it's
Not as much.
bacon and cream cheese. And
Yeah.
whenever I did the pop up in Port Rush, the most common question was, "Do you do chips?"
Did you eat chips?
No, we don't. But it's just the palate,
Uncultured swines
yeah.
of the North Coast.
But I mean, why would you have that with a bagel?
I know.
Just everyone.
Browns are big
We do hash
browns.
browns.
Hash browns.
We do hash
Ah,
browns.
well, that's true. That's true.
We do.
You just say aye and then give them hash browns.
Well, we would be like, nah, but we do hash browns. We're like, nah, I was looking at a potato. I was like, oh,
Hash
what's
browns?
hash brown?
Is that like a chip buddy sort of bagel? Is that what
No,
they're
they were
after?
just wanting to get a bacon bagel, but they wanted a portion of chips on the side.
Right, okay.
Just
Fucking weirdos.
maybe part of their diet 7 days a week.
I was thinking a
Chips must be.
chip buddy bagel would be.
It still creeps me out. I don't know who these people are. Like,
It was just honestly every day, like it was like
stay away.
Port Rush bingo was. Do you do chips?
That's really strange. Must be a culture thing down there. Different culture.
I was probably mostly people from Ballymena heading up the road,
And there's some
Uncultured swines.
and I am allowed to say that I have a pass.
You've been in Belfast longer than Ballymena, though, no? Or
No. The scariest thing ever was I had to fill a form out like 6 months ago, and it's like, how long have you been driving? And I was like, I don't know, like 10 years. And then I worked out, and I was like, 16 years. And I learned at 17, and I'm like, why did you use? By the
I'm
similar.
33 this year.
I'm 33 like 2 weeks ago.
35.
But like when you think of being 18, does that feel like half your life ago? No.
No, that's nuts.
It's mental.
I still can't drive.
Oh jeez, where do they go?
I was going to say, I would do it the odd time, is ask the guest, whenever anybody comes to Bodega Bagel and they get the experience of Bodega Bagel, either location, new locations, what do you hope they will feel leaving your location, leaving the experience? What do you hope that their initial thought is?
Like you always get, you get messages and you see nice Google reviews and stuff all the time. Probably the best one is if someone's either worked or lived or is from New York and they say this is as good as or reminds me of or is like the best bagel I've had this side of the Atlantic. That's like, especially if it comes from a New Yorker.
Yeah,
We had this girl that used to come in and trade market all the time. I think she was from Queens or the Bronx. She cried. She had a bagel and she was like, I think she was a student and then cried and was like, I haven't had one in 3 years. And that just is like, that everything
missing
bagel
home.
is the exact same as the one I got from this shop in this street for every week in the summer that I worked there or did
Nuts.
this. So that's the best thing because it feels like you're taking such a New York food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like putting in like a Belfast spin on it. I
Yeah.
want it to be authentically New York style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like different types of bagel. There's Canadian bagels that are bigger and they're not boiled or wood fired ovens and all.
Right.
So I was like, we don't play about with any of that. It just learn from that. What that guy taught me in that WhatsApp call and then obviously Nicole's kind of went and put her own spin on it, but it's like the actual recipe is the same.
Yeah.
So I just want to that. So that's the main thing.
Keep it authentic.
And then the Ballymena, me going back to what I was saying earlier, is I want people. I feel like constantly you go out for food now, and you're like, "That was good, but it was expensive."
Yeah.
And like there is an element of you do have to charge like a bacon, egg, and cheese is £8. But if you want to have Ballymaloe relish, I'm not charging you any extra for it.
Yeah.
You know, I buy a tub of Ballymaloe relish for 13 quid. I get a few hundred bagels out of it. But places will charge a quid for it. You know, it's all of a sudden. And that's where I'm like, I should be doing that, you know. Any investors listening, sorry. But I want people to come. I want it to be something that people feel like they could eat 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And so I don't want it to be too expensive. And I want it to be authentically New York. Good value and authentically New York. But the thing I always say to the guys is most important in everything we do is consistency.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where so many like little food places let themselves down.
Yeah.
Like there's so many great places, but they're like, oh, we're not opening today. Oven broke. We're not opening. We don't have this in the menu. It didn't arrive in time. Don't have this. Sorry, we've sold out of this. Or we're only opening for an hour next week or next Saturday because all the staff are on holidays or something. I'm just like, I will get 3 ringers in who've never did a shift before, and then I'll do 80% of the work to stay open.
Yeah.
Did have my mum and dad in with me in Portrush working one day because I couldn't get, it was like a bank holiday weekend, I couldn't get people from Belfast to come up and work. Or I'll jump in the van at 9:30 and drive it an hour somewhere and back again to be back for 11:30, so we have salt beef ready to go for 12 o'clock or whatever. But yeah, I just want to always have 95% of the menu on.
Yeah.
Because I want it to feel like, I don't know, I kind of build it so it's almost like people can walk in and be like, this feels almost like it's a chain, but it doesn't look like a chain. I know that would put some people off because they want it to feel like really bespoke and all, but I want people to have a bacon, egg and cheese, come back next week and have a bacon, egg and cheese, come back the next week and have a bacon, egg, and it's the exact same. But Boojum is like,
That's their model. Like.
yeah, but you do get a good Boojum and you get a bad Boojum, and everybody, oh, this one had too much rice and not enough chicken and stuff. But within about 5% every time, it's near enough the same. So that's kind of like, they're like a great local big success story.
They are.
So I always kind of like to use, there's like, I really look up to them. I really look up to General Merchants.
Yeah.
Because they've got 3 of them. But they had one and waited 4 or 5 years, got another one, waited a few years. They didn't go and open up 30 of them.
Make sure they got it right.
And every single one you could go to and you kind of know what the menu's going to be, but the menu always changes a little bit, but it's always great. And it's always busy.
Yeah.
And they're 2 very different. One's like a Mexican fast food chain and one's a fancy brunch spot.
Yeah.
So, but consistency is my main thing.
Yeah. No, it sounds like a perfect answer. We've had a lot of food people on, and a big thing was consistency. Like, and if you lack that, you'll struggle in some other way, I imagine.
And people are fickle here. Like we've probably all done it. You'll go somewhere and you'll have it, and it was a bit shit, so you'll never go back. It's not even like a personal vendetta. It's people are like, oh, did you go and try that pizza from that pizza place? I went once and didn't think much of it, or I paid 20 quid for a pizza and I had to have toast when I got home because it didn't fill me. I'll not be back.
I think that's silly. And
it's really annoying because there could have just been some little simple thing that was forgotten. Or it could be a bad day or something, you know. So
I always go back for more, at least once anyway, for sure. No, well, thank you very much, Stephen.
No problem.
We're going to wrap it up there. With
we're going to start recording now.
The pod. Shit.
Did you forget?
It's good. We'll not find the bit where Jude was angry at me at the start. No, thank you very much, Stephen, for coming on. We have a few wee announcements to make about the podcast. People have probably started to notice we've turned into a very much food orientated podcast, and our guests. For example, so far we've had Joe Kane, the Dolphin Wine Bar. We've had Notorious Pizza, Mara Felt, Michael McKillop. We just had him, Glens of Antrim Crisps, Potatoes and Distillery. We've got our Lear whiskey up there as well. Each of our Lears. We've got the green cask, our green crest, red crest, and the black crest. Take a wee sip of that before you go, you want?
Yeah, it's deadly.
Get me up the road twice.
We had Kieran McCann at the very start of his journey with what was his? Was it Brewbox? Wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Brew Box. Seamus O'Burt was on with Etchlinville Distillery, or Etchlinville whiskey, wasn't it?
It was lovely.
It was good stuff too. Michael Holgate was on, local lad, very food orientated kind of guy. And then Peter Mackerlane with Mackerlane's Bakery. We might have had a few there, but I think that was all the ones I spotted. And everybody will notice we have a big emphasis on food, hospitality on this podcast, and we've also created an event that's coming up. I don't know if you heard about it, Stephen. Oh. It's called Local Chef Showdown.
Oh yes, I did. Yes.
So it's basically a master chef,
yeah.
But we're doing the local area, and we're filming in a local school. We're throwing up a pile of cameras. We've got We've got one of our guys, Joe O'Kane from the Dolphin, as one of the judges. We have Stephen Hope from Dawson's Restaurant in Castle Dawson. They're the judges. We're going to film it a wee bit like MasterChef with a crossover to a podcast.
And is it like you represent a town or?
No, we're going to do Mid-Ulster for the first one, and we've just had loads of people apply to be competitors. They're going to come on. They're going to do a few wee tasks. They're going to do skills tests. They're going to do signature dishes. They're going to come on. They're home cooks in a sense, just people that love cooking. They want to come on and have a bit of crack and be competitors. And we're now that we've got our competitors, we're now starting to look for any sponsors, any business sponsors that wants to throw their logos up onto the screen, on the aprons, they're getting chef's jackets. There's going to be advertising opportunities all over the episodes that we create, along with we have a good few suppliers that we'll be talking about soon that are supplying the food, and everybody's going to be looked after with the produce. And we're going to release it in the autumn time, probably close to December, maybe winter, on YouTube as a YouTube series, and very much based around we're going to give proceeds to charity. All the businesses, sponsors, community comes together just to create a community event where everybody's going to benefit from it, and local people get a chance to do something different.
And you will get
to cooking.
Judge about 40 meals.
Free food, like
that's free food. Yeah. What do you think you're doing here? Oh, thanks for the story, Stephen. Anyway, keeping them bagels. But we very much love our food guests, and this ideas came upon us, and we're really looking forward to the planning and looking after it all, and bringing on maybe some guests or special guests as judges, and promoting local business. It's very much local business in Mid-Ulster. And we're really looking forward to organising that over the next couple of weeks. And we're filming in August. And that's the crack with that. Good luck to James McKegney.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
James McKegney, a comedian.
Oh, it's comedian boxing.
It's on tonight.
He's been on the podcast maybe 3 times.
Who's he fighting?
Oh, who is he fighting? Oh, I forget who it is, actually. It's another comedian, obviously. I forget who it is. Darren someone maybe? Darren Matthews, was it? No, I'm not sure. Anyway, sorry we didn't know that, whoever it is, but good luck to James and his boxing. Comedians boxing was class last year, and I'm sure it's going to be better. Did you see it?
I didn't actually, but I watched like Bomb Squad and Tea with Me and stuff. So I heard
it's good.
Talk about
it was very good. It was very good, and very enjoyable. So good luck to James on that.
Has it been any?
Is that right?
Finishes at 10 p.m. according to the website. So.
We don't know what's happened. I haven't seen any.
Oh shit, James! I hope you're all right.
We got James winning.
Let's go, James.
Did he win?
I don't know. We're just gonna say.
Go on, James. You did it, lad.
He's found it.
Aye, probably. But anyway, thank you very much, Stephen, for coming on. Really appreciate you coming down the whole way to Marfelt to grace us with your bagels and your knowledge of business. Did you have a good time, folks?
I had a fucking great
Jude?
time.
Unreal.
Steve, you had a good time?
Loved it, yeah.
Let's cue the boron, finish her off. Woo!
Oh, I've been holding
It's good fun.
a fart in for about an hour.